Welcome back, everybody, to Tabletop Notch. Wonderful to have you all back this evening. Tonight is going to be Chapter 11 of Season 2 of A Peek Beneath the Veil.
Double ones.
Digits. Wait, double digits was last one.
You may also notice that Riley and Jordan aren't just very close. They are also saving a seat for a potential guest. Or maybe they won't find this person and then they'll just sit off to the side.
No, it's our imaginary friend.
So we have an exciting full house this evening as we dive deeper into the Ebb Woods and figure out a number of things.
Nervous.
The lodestone, Safira's bow, the nature of Kaimi's curse.
Please. Help.
But as always, before we get into that, we have a few announcements, things, shout-outs to say.
Sure.
Where are we
I'll
starting?
start.
Go for it.
I'm just gonna be aggressive. We got a Patreon.
Hey.
And we got merch. And if you sign up for that Patreon at a certain tier, you get a discount code on the merch. So go ahead and check it out. We actually just made something available. Oh, and yes. We usually just do like a thank you for anybody who does the lowest Patreon. What is it?
Patreon.
Okay. Lowest tier. Thank you. Here we go. We usually just say like a thank you and do the cards at the start of the stream, but today we released the video. I don't want to spoil it, but something from last episode that Matt utilized in the combat is now available to any and all of them, just as a nice little thank
puzzle
you.
if you want to throw that into the sort of the D&D version of a QuickTime event for those of you who play such games.
It's hard.
If you fail the Arcana check, it's real
tricky.
So feel free to go ahead and check it out.
I will also add on to that we are also onto the Patreon. We will be releasing some backstory stuff. We thought that would be a cool thing to throw in for our guests, the guests' backstory. So after our guests have parted ways with the party, you can read up a little bit about sort of where they came from, what they were up to. So that is forthcoming.
You'd like to know too.
No secrets.
What is my backstory?
Who am
I'm all set.
Oh gosh, it's me. No, John needs to come back. It's the social media.
We've been doing so well.
We have the social media. In fact, all of them. And we are Tabletop Notch on all of the social medias. We also re-air this episode if you missed this, and as a podcast on Spotify. I'm falling apart tonight. iTunes and Anchor as well. A few other places, I think, but not off the top of my head. And we also re-air the episode on YouTube every Friday. So if you want to watch with us and chat with us and ask us questions, we are also usually one or two of us is in the chat. So please rewatch with us. If you're not here, then you're not here, but please catch up.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube.
Yes.
On Fridays. And the podcast usually goes up
Tuesday morning. Yes.
Way to tag team it, guys.
But all week you can find us in Discord.
If you're not a schedule kind of person, you can just
pop in and pop out at Discord and see all the people joining, honestly, every day, talking about their own homebrew stuff, talking about our old episodes, new episodes. Old guests, new guests, some of those are the same. Fan art.
Some delightful Pocodoco fan art of Gretchen putting an elf's head on a spike.
Yes. There was an awesome Orba one recently. Did you see?
There was a new Orba one, I think.
There's a couple new ones. There's a couple really good ones.
Really?
They're all pretty.
But yes, join us there all week.
Like to do your thing.
No, Erica has a podcast. It's called Singing Brain, a Percy Jackson podcast. We seek to answer the question, is Percabeth the greatest love story ever told? You can find us on every platform. We're also distributed via Anchor. If that's where you listen to this show, you can listen to us as well.
She's so much
so
better
concise.
See, I give her a 10 out of 10. I was like a 4.
We're falling behind, man.
And finally, shall we
You want me to do the thing?
run the list?
All
do
right.
the thing?
Hold on, I gotta scroll. Okay, let's see. Mr. Jingleheimer did 100 bits. Snapping Cobra did 1,000 bits. Zoom Banger 95 resubscribed for 2 months. Crazy Locha resubscribed. Wow, TTN mug hype. Yay, Crazy Locha. Snapping Cobra gave out 5 community subs. Crazy Locha gave out 5 community subs. Mr. Jingleheimer did another 100 bits. Snapping Cobra did 100 bits. Crazy Locha with 1,000 bits. Mr. Jingleheimer with 1,000 bits. Guys, stop trying to one-up each other. Come on. GF Powers did 100 bits. Planet Buster 00 subscribed for 2 months. Thank you. Crazy Locha 500 bits. And Mr. Jingleheimer closing it out with 100 bits.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much.
Doofenshmirtz booty cheeks.
Oh,
Did you
wait.
not see
No!
Doofenshmirtz
How
booty
could
cheeks?
you possibly miss it?
Why is this app so
And
bad?
Planet
Or
Buster
them,
Double
whoever
Zero.
that is,
What
that's
the?
fantastic.
I did
That
Planet Buster.
Oh,
Listen.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mr.
I'm-
Biophile, subscribe? Okay, yeah,
my
okay.
goodness.
Planet Buster.
Definitely missed Doofenshmirtz booty
I
cheeks.
did miss Doofenshmirtz.
I was waiting.
We
He's
would
like,
remember.
Why doesn't this thing tell me that?
I'm very sorry. We'll look again, make
Yeah.
sure that we shout everybody's name out. but
Also,
our-
send a report to Twitch saying, hey, you didn't shout me out. Oh, and Blissful
Hey.
Sky subscribed. I got that one, so thank you.
Thank you guys all.
Thank
so,
you all
so,
very,
so,
very
so
much.
much. Crazy Loach, we hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I think they
Yes.
are.
I think you're feeling
they are.
poorly. All right, everybody. We've done the thing. Now it's time to dive back in. So we're going to throw it over to the intro, and when we come back, we will start with Chapter 11 of Season 2 of A Peek Beneath the Veil.
Punch some lizards.
Let's go.
Oh God.
All right, everybody. In Season 2, Chapter 10, From Bad to Curse. The assault against the Sunken King was only just beginning as Orba stood her ground on the raised platform, her allies ascending the pillars, but frequently rebuffed by the undead servants holding the perimeter. A change in strategy got us moving in the right direction, for though the summoned units did pose a real threat, they rarely targeted Orba with their attacks. So as long as the rest of us could endure the onslaught, we were free to start chipping away at the skeletal monstrosity himself. More than once, it was not our foes, but the terrain itself that proved to be the biggest obstacle, the wind and the wet rocks sending us tumbling to the lowest levels and forcing us to waste time returning to the battlefield. In these moments of vulnerability, the Sunken King wound up ferocious two-handed strikes with his corrupted blade. But Orba quickly realized that the shifting colors within his opalescent eyes were telegraphing the attacks, an undoubtedly timely discovery given that she was unlikely to withstand more than one of these vicious blows.
Indeed.
From a distance, Graven paired up with the young Reaper to chain together cantrips, an effective way to circumvent the heavy-plated armor worn by our adversaries. But it was Ki'imi who put together the final volley that found its mark and broke the spirit of the Sunken King. The obsidian columns sunk back into the ground and the storm all but subsided, leaving us exposed in the vast meadow to reflect on this victory that balanced on the razor's edge. All that was left of the barnacle-encrusted skeleton was a single gilded skull, and as Orba reached for it, she could feel that after proving herself here, she could call on such a spirit to protect her in the future. At the same time, Ki'imi enjoyed just a short bit of respite from the voice in her head, though when it did return, it came with some introspective clarity about the nature of its curse. Centuries ago, before the Ebb Woods became a haunted ruin, a husband and wife suspected the local gravedigger of forbidden necromancy, and for his supposed crimes, he was murdered by the sheriff and his men. The voice knew that he played some part in this story, but he wasn't sure which one, So we needed Ki'imi to travel to the Ebb Woods in the hopes of piecing together additional memories that could help them both better understand why they'd been cursed in this manner. It looked like our halfling friend would be traveling with us for a bit longer, but someone who wouldn't be coming was Sebastian Charles, the elf who'd gotten caught up in the storm and suffered a grisly injury to his arm. Initially, he was bound for the Ebb Woods as well, searching for a friend who'd gone missing, but we talked him out of risking his own life and promised to look for clues as to his friend's whereabouts. After traversing through Myriad Meadow, we waited until the trees started to pop up in greater number before making camp, a well-deserved rest if there ever was one. Despite feeling rather exposed to the elements, it was a mostly quiet night, though during her watch, Orba did hear some scratching and found a symbol etched into a nearby trunk, possible evidence of kobolds that had apparently taken up residence in the ruins. In the morning, we took a moment to reiterate our intentions within the Ebb Woods, learn more about Ki'imi's predicament, smack the lodestone if we could manage it, and infuse Safira's bow with additional combat techniques as per Sarndaro's instructions. It was a lot to tackle, but a good night's sleep left us feeling up to the task, and as we rode deeper into the forest, we waited to see if Mr. Curse would pipe up, and we wondered. In what way was Ki'imi paying for the sins of others, as was implied by the voice in her head? Was Graven permanently forbidden from using the sending spell, or was it just a one-time punishment for his impudence? And who else besides Erland might be drawn into the Ebb Woods by a trail of mysterious nipples?
Waiting for the nipples.
We find out now on Season 2, Chapter 11, of A Peek Beneath the Veil.
Snipples. It's just snipples.
Riding into the Ebb Woods is a strange combination of feeling like you are headed deep into the wilderness and feeling like you're approaching civilization. There are winding paths between the trees that are far overgrown, not considered roads at this point. But you do spot the odd pile of stone, crumbling obelisk that at one time were probably trail markers to guide people safely to the inner settlements. You can see on the faces of your companions that everyone has entered a state of vigilance, caution. You're no stranger to the rumors of how this area might be haunted. And now you add to that reports of new reptilian denizens who might lie in wait to ambush anyone straying from the pack. As Safira pauses to carve another primordial symbol into the bark of a nearby tree, hopeful that Erland will be able to retrace your steps if he hurries to make up for lost time, Ki'imi's eyes cast downward. She listens to the voice come through, once again with a kind of meandering, disconnected tone. The sounds of someone straining to remember, rather than recalling with ease.
The husband and wife. The ones that were imprisoned for failure to report the necromancy. They were eventually released, but they were racked with guilt. They did not intend for the caretaker to die, especially when they were not certain of what they had seen. Soon they would discover, however, that the worst was yet to come. The murdered caretaker had a sister who was a priestess of transmutation magic. She had been traveling the continent, but when she returned home to Manasami and found her brother dead, she was distraught. She wanted revenge, but her magic was not destructive in nature. She could not conjure balls of flame or shoot lightning from her fingertips. Instead, she retreated underground. Before it was safe to settle there, the Ebb Woods would sometimes get frost worms slithering in from the mountains. Enormous beasts that burrowed a network of complex tunnels beneath the surface. The priestess went into these tunnels, and using her ability to manipulate water and earth, started to erode the foundation of the rock. Years went by, and unbeknownst to its citizens, the ground underneath Manasami was weakening. Finally, the earth collapsed into a massive sinkhole, taking most of the town with it. Very few made it out alive. And to this day, the spirits of the innocent haunt this forest. Hundreds of lives lost in an instant. All because a simple letter found its way into the wrong hands. There is more to this story that I have yet to piece together, including my own role in it, and including how your story is connected to mine.
Okay, but that's a really great start, buddy. Oh my god, curse high five. That was awesome. Don't worry about overtaxing yourself. I'm gonna ruminate on this info and we'll keep writing further towards the ruins, probably, right? That might be helpful.
Yes.
Okay.
Curse high five.
Curse fist bump. I think we're that close at this point.
We
Great.
must get closer to the ruins.
Okay.
It is there we will find answers.
Great. You rest up, buddy. Keep thinking, and just, tap me whenever you're ready to talk, all right? I'll be here. I'll be listening. I'm here for you.
I find that I do have some knowledge of this place. Check the stone markers as you pass them, and follow the ones with this symbol carved into them. It will take you to the Ebb Woods crater.
And in your mind, he telepathically sort of conjures an image of a symbol. So you're not actually seeing, like he's not giving you a piece of paper,
Right.
but this is what the symbol looks like.
Strange.
Nipple.
Sort of a trail marker that the sort of stone
Yeah, I know, I
pillars
was gonna
indicate the
say.
direction of
Tripnip?
the Ebb Woods.
Awesome.
All right. Tripnip it is.
So that voice kind of comes in, you get the image of the symbol in your mind, and then it's gone. And you're sort of back, you return, the sort of sounds around you return, the sounds of the forest around you, the clopping of the hooves, horses, people ride.
All right. I mean, we're definitely heading towards the ruins, right?
Well, yeah, I certainly fucking hope so. Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, seems this was the way that we... Should we check a map?
I don't know if we have a detailed enough.
No, I'm just saying. We are. Does anyone know? Are we lost?
Going
Well,
to the
our map
heart
doesn't
of the
really-
forest.
Okay.
Cover the...
No, I feel...
The trees are getting thicker, right? That's
yeah,
probably
yeah,
a good sign.
Yes.
They are
Yeah, that-
We
yeah.
don't have a specific goal other than
No,
following the
I'm
compass.
not, I mean...
feeling out an
Can I
area
kind of look
for
at my
you.
bow and...
Pretty dormant at the moment, not making any kind of sounds or any glowing or anything.
Here's the thing, I don't really know how to look for the most spiritual place. And the last time that this thing started whining, we got sucked into a really dangerous tree. So I don't know, I'm not sure.
Keep your ear
Okay,
out.
I guess whining is maybe, what if it's like, but how do you tell the difference between excited whining and, doesn't matter.
I have a feeling that the closer that we get to the ruins of the town that was once Manasami, that might be more spiritual. The curse told me that a lot of people died there.
We were told as well.
So,
yeah.
ghosts.
That's also the first time Orba and Safira have heard Manasami. Graven has heard the name of the town before, but that's the first time you guys have heard the name of the town.
Is
How
that
do you know that name?
How do you think it was the curse voice?
Oh, has he chimed in on anything? Or?
He's starting to put together the pieces of his past, but nothing
Right.
too helpful at this point other than the fact that we need to get closer towards the ruins, and he gave me an idea of an image that might be on some of these guideposts to look out for.
Oh, good.
I'll let you know if I
right
see it.
helpful. So then that would indicate that I think we are then going in the right. We should keep moving in this
Have I
direction.
seen any of these yet?
Give me a perception check.
First die roll of the... Ooh, no.
Oh no!
8.
You've passed by a number of sort of crumbling stone pillars. Again, a lot of these are ravaged simply with time. Time has taken moss overgrown. So now that you know that you're looking for that, maybe the next pile you could stop and
Okay.
check it out. But yeah, as of now, you didn't see that symbol yet, but you didn't know to be keeping an eye
Yeah,
out for it.
yeah.
so.
How long ago did the city sink? We don't
Hundreds
know.
of years.
Hundreds, yeah.
Yeah, a few hundred years, like centuries ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't laid eyes on the symbol yet, but I'll be keeping an eye out.
Right. Can you sort of describe it to us? Is it?
It's like a big nipple with like a line coming out of the top and like 2 lines coming out of the bottom and like 3 dots.
What kind of nipple has lines?
I can't make any drawing that's not a nipple. Doesn't matter what it is.
You put a circle and a dot. That's all it takes. There are 2 components to a nipple.
This is the only.
this was just abstract.
Okay.
Right, okay. Circle. I'll remember lots of
And
circles.
eyes out for movement as well. Supposedly there are
Well-
many kobolds in this area.
And then
Yeah, so
notoriously
maybe let's
quiet, right?
Watch our
So-
volume.
Yeah. I mean, they probably already know where we are, really.
Or do we actually want to make lots of loud noises so that they are spooked by it?
Well, it seems.
Do they do that?
Well, Gretchen told us.
They can, if they're in a big pack, they might feel emboldened, but you can definitely, like, kobolds generally are conflict averse if they feel like outnumbered or scared. Like, they will they're small, they're like halfling size, so they're little creatures that sort of will scatter if you spook them. Yeah.
If we are sure that their numbers are small, yes, we could
I think
fend
it's
them
gonna
off
be.
with lots of noise, but
We are better at being loud than we are being quiet.
That's absolutely true. I mean, obviously, the concern is that they might be in such numbers that they, see that as a threat that they can easily conquer. In which case, we're going to be.
and this is
I mean, I'm
their
not saying-
territory.
Yeah.
They
it
know
is.
it much better than we.
Let's keep following your curse's instructions, and hopefully we'll be okay.
And we should watch the ground, particularly. The closer we get into the forest, the more likely it could be to sink. I've heard that it just collapses. So, when I was talking to Satiria about this place, she mentioned that. Was Satiria, I think, that told me that.
I think the first time you were talking about it, yeah.
She told me that it was like quicksand. I mean, you
Ichabod
fall
said.
into the ground. So we also should.
Less quicksand than like sinkhole, like
Oh,
crumbling.
okay.
It doesn't. It's not like goopy. Yeah. Like it could crumble beneath your feet, not.
So that's obviously something to be aware of. I think once we get close to the forest, we should maybe leave the horses so we don't have to walk them through the sinkhole area. And I know it's because we know we're gonna get into shit. And I think if we're trying to run out on our horses and we fall into a hole, then that's gonna be. Then we're gonna be in it worse than we would be if we were just on foot. So I don't know.
We stay spread out.
Wait, that's.
Oh,
At
that's a
least
good idea.
6, 8, 10 feet if we can.
Oh, if we
disperse
stay
our
spread
weight.
out, then
Then what?
doesn't that mean that there's
Then
a
we
higher
don't all
probability?
fall.
Well, no, but if we stay in a single file line and one of us falls, then at least it's only one of us, right?
Right, then 6 feet, 8 feet behind
Yeah.
instead of.
The curse offered me some information that might be helpful about
yeah.
the
Oh,
ground.
what's up?
It sinks because of tunnels. Old tunnels. Now, I don't know if these are tunnels that would be worth checking out. If we're in a bind, maybe we can find
I
some.
don't know if I want to be in a tunnel that collapses.
They are probably hundreds of years old,
Yeah, that doesn't
but
sound
just good
exactly...
to keep in mind.
No, that's
Or
very good.
that-
I'm good at tunnels. I
Makes
can
my
always
skin crawl a bit, but that's okay.
I can check them out.
Also, frostworms are enormous. These aren't like tunnels that you just like all fours crawl through. Like you could 5 Gravens stacked on top of each other could walk through.
What?
Oh
But we don't know if there are still frost.
Oh no, they're almost definitely not still there.
Oh,
that was
oh.
way before. But the tunnels themselves are not ones
You
that you have
say
to
that.
like weasel your
Say
way
that.
through. Yeah.
There's some old
So-
frostworm down there.
Do we know if kobolds are little burrowy little boys?
They
Do
can
like to be
burrow.
underground?
They mostly stick to infesting something else's burrow. Like if something else.
like a frostworm?
Yeah, like if something else abandoned its lair, kobolds will move into that
Okay.
into there. Yeah, they're opportunistic in that way.
So, yes, investigate perhaps, but that could be a great breeding ground for many kobolds.
Well, it's a really good home for them, so I'm sure they're going to defend it, fully.
Let's proceed. Quietly, calmly,
Single file.
single file.
So we're going with quietly and calmly and not stomping.
For
on
now.
them.
Yes.
Okay.
Spaced out. Sounds like a plan.
Horses?
Smallest, Who's got the smallest horse among us?
They're all about the same size.
I'll be in the middle, perhaps.
Okay,
Maybe not in the front.
I'll take up the tail. You want to lead?
I guess I'll lead because I'm theoretically the lightest.
Well, also you know the symbol, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. No, I'm that's
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were calling me a skinny legend. That's fine.
I mean, you look great.
So as you continue to ride, you guys moving forward now in like a single file line-ish, like more or less. You start to see some irregularities in the forest floor. You see kind of a tree partially uprooted at the base, levels of terrain butting up against each other, separated by a few inches, like at uneven heights. There's a few bowl-like kind of depressions in the grass that are anywhere between 5 to 10 feet in diameter, all just evidence of unstable terrain. And for now, the ground feels pretty sturdy, but it does sort of put that at the forefront of your mind, the possibility that as you get closer and closer to the center of the woods, you might have to watch your step, choose your routes carefully, lest the ground kind of crumble beneath you. The horses, as you're riding, are of particular concern. Partially because of their heft, but also because of a lack of dexterity.
Yeah.
In the event that something kind of collapsed, one of you might be able to jump out of the way, whereas a horse probably wouldn't be able to do that, would kind of fall in, unable to kind of shift its weight or cling to a ledge. And depending on how far you go, everyone's kind of thinking that you may need to find a safe place to tie up the steeds. Not quite yet. The ground still feels pretty sturdy.
Everyone's thinking.
Someone rides confidently forward, ready to let their horse take
Marty horse is a good boy.
So you're kind of keeping an eye out for any kind of small outcroppings, any place where you might be able to conceal the horses and fetch them at a later time. Who is holding the Ebb Woods lodestone compass? Is that Orba or Graven? Great. So as you continue to ride forward, and as you see Ki'imi looking off to the left and right for some of those stone piles maybe, the compass has started to swing, and before where if you like moved it around in your hand, the pointer would just swing anywhere. It's not pointing directly at something, but it's started to limit the kind of triangle that it sways within. So now it looks almost kind of metronome-like it's swinging vaguely. And it does appear to be generally in the direction that you were headed. So swings to the left a little bit, then back to the right, and back to the left. So slowly picking up a little bit of a scent of the lodestone.
Love that. I'm going to keep it up.
We'll see if thieves.
Carefully investigating any large stone to serve as a trail marker, you chart a course through the woods that follows. You see some of the symbols that you recognized in your mind. So you start to follow those. You see one that looks like a different symbol, kind of turn away from that one, find the one that you're looking for, start to head in that direction. You enjoy the kind of crisp, dry air, not a trace of humidity. And strangely enough, very little evidence of wildlife. The vegetation here seems healthy and lush, but other than some persistent background noise of bird calls, a little sort of in the background, there's not a lot of critters. You don't see any common forest fauna. No deer, no rabbits, boar, foxes, nothing like that. After a little while, you peer into the distance. And at first, it kind of looks like the trees are shrinking, the typically high branches getting closer and closer to the ground. But it soon becomes clear that you're approaching a downward slope that's gradually getting steeper and steeper. So the tree line is like dipping down as you're looking forward. Not like falling off a cliff, just generally moving down.
As we kind of get to this
Yep.
place, can I kind of... I really think we should maybe find a place for the horses.
I agree.
Especially as we're going down here. It just doesn't feel... I've got a bad feeling. I don't want to lose the horses. It'll make the journey really long.
It's a good point. Is anybody opposed to taking a moment maybe to put the saddlebags up on like a branch higher out of... I don't want our... There's some valuables in them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they more likely to get stolen in a tree than they would be on a horse?
Well, can kobolds... I'm more thinking of the kobolds if they...
They can climb.
They can climb, yeah.
They
I
can
mean,
climb.
if you hit it up, you're certainly, again, the trees have a trunk, and then the branches kind of grow upward. So something at the base of the tree is very visible. If you got something up in the branches,
Are they
it might
interested
be
in like
more
shiny
so.
things, or are
They
they more
love. They're like hoarding creatures.
Oh, okay.
They are famous for kidnapping
right?
creatures and then
For, like,
bargaining.
ransom.
Yeah, for ransom. Yeah, they love
Put my
trinkets,
tree.
jewels.
I
Yes,
think
yeah.
we might be better off leaving them with the horses.
But if the kobolds find the horses, then they're just going to ransack the horses.
I suppose what we could do is leave the horses by a spot and then find somewhere to sort of bury. I think if we put them in a tree that's almost like a giant target, I mean, isn't it easier to
Hide
see?
them.
Can I
Well,
use
yes.
my
Not
paints
hang.
on like
Suppose.
objects? Like, could I paint up the
try.
saddlebags real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Yes.
Idea. I still have a bunch of my paints. How about I
Right.
climb up some of the trees and hide up the saddlebags while you guys tie up the horses?
Oh, that'd be brilliant. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll help you.
Yeah. I'll
That-
just kind of take my saddlebags.
Everybody, give me an investigation check
Oh gosh.
as you just look for a decent spot. I mean, the horses are never going to be truly hidden.
So it begins.
20.
20.
4.
16.
It's a natural one.
Great. So Safira and Kiimi take a moment just to look around, and you find this area that's sort of a outcropping that's sort of jutting up out of the ground, some of that uneven terrain, and it's also sheltered by some kind of tall grasses and trees. It's a decent spot that you could put the horses that if someone wanders right by here, they're going to see them, but the concealment's pretty good, all things
The
considered.
kobolds aren't interested in the horses.
Probably not.
Yeah.
They probably.
Unless they had stuff.
Yeah.
To ransom them back to us.
Yes.
Yes. If they knew they were yours, maybe they would.
Tiny bridles.
Yes. So you find a decent little spot, more or less in the direction you were traveling, somewhere to hide the horses.
Right.
Great.
You know, good a place as any, right?
All right. I'm gonna hide them. I'm gonna be careful to especially like cover up any like metal or anything that's shiny on the saddles with some brown and
Some
green.
of that paint, greens and browns,
Yep.
you rub them on the bags. Yeah. It looks, I mean, it's, you kind of, as you're doing it, you're looking up at the trees.
Really scanning.
Yeah, trying to match the colors a little bit, and you certainly skilled in that vein. You find the very well concealed saddlebags there.
Great.
And slowly you watch Kiimi kind of shuffle up the trunk of the tree, and you hear a little rustling up above as it sounds like she's kind of looping
alright?
the saddlebags up.
Oh, all good. All good. I'm just gonna call down.
All right.
1 minute.
It occurs to you that you have 4 people's valuables in your hands up here in this tree.
I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna like think for a moment and be like, no, Kaimi, these are your friends. These are your friends. You have friends now. I hear like wait to see if I hear the voice say it and then I can steal any of their stuff and he's not coming around, so I'm just gonna be like, okay, don't do it. And I'm just gonna scamper back down. Okay, clean off my hands. All right, everything's hidden.
Okay, great. Right.
All right, on foot. Everybody have everything they need.
On foot, if you feel anything, you know, soft ground, step away. I don't know what to say. I guess don't step there.
Solid
That's
advice.
the best
Safira, let's
advice I
keep
have.
going.
On
Change.
And with the strategy changed completely,
Oh no.
you guys start to approach that slope, and it looks like it's gradually getting a little steeper and steeper, the very beginnings of a slow descent toward the inner ring of the Ebb Woods, where the ruins lie, perhaps. The slanted terrain looks like it could start to get dangerous for an unsure-footed traveler. Tripping on the underbrush at the wrong time could send you tumbling and gaining momentum without an easy way to stop yourself that doesn't involve colliding with a tree. And such hazards are precisely what also makes it an excellent spot for traps. And right now, you see a head with a mop of reddish-brown hair popping up above the fallen leaves. And it's followed by kind of one arm and then another arm and someone pulling themselves up out of some kind of hole that's been dug into the ground. So this is still, 50-something feet off from you guys. You start to see someone emerge. And breathing heavily as you pull yourself back up to the surface, you take a couple steps away from the edge of the pit. And you haven't seen or heard, the wind is kind of blowing through, the leaves rustling. And you lean against the closest tree, protecting yourself from that wind. And you reach into your jacket, and you pull out the items that you've procured from the pit.
Pit items.
The first thing you find in the pit is a strip of cloth, which is what caught your eye initially. It's kind of grayish with a silver trim denoting status as one of the executive assistants to the council. There's a smear of blood that's mostly dry but has just a hint of dampness to it. So if someone got hurt, it might have happened pretty recently. The second thing that you picked up was an empty, cracked potion bottle. Crimson droplets still clinging to the glass. A healing potion that indicates that the person, if they injured themselves severely, might have needed some alchemical aid to get themselves up and out. The third thing that you find is a collection of 4 jet black feathers. Bigger than a crow's, possibly a raven's, unsure what purpose they serve. And the last thing that you find is a torn piece of parchment with a kind of grid covered in scrawled symbols. Its meaning elusive to you, but intriguing because of where you found it, which was stuck to a tree root that was jutting out of one of the walls of the pit. So if someone, possibly your quarry, was climbing up out of this pit trap, it might have gotten caught on it and torn. And this person might not have even noticed that they lost it. Presumably they might have gone back down to get it. So this one in particular is of interest to you. You have no idea what the symbols mean, but you have a torn piece of parchment with a whole bunch of scrawled symbols on it. So once again, the items that you found: piece of bloody cloth, and broken potion bottle, not particularly important. Some raven's feathers, 4 raven's feathers, and then the piece of parchment that you have. As the breeze stops, the leaves around you settle a little bit, and it's suddenly very quiet, which is when you hear some shuffling footsteps. Sounds like it's coming from a little above you and behind the tree. It's accompanied by some just sounds of, again, sort of sliding through some of the leaves that have fallen on the ground. And you take the items, you kind of stuff them back in your jacket pocket so they're out of sight. And you wait, and you listen. So you have your back against a tree, and the sound sounds like it's coming from that direction.
Malik, I know you're out there.
Everybody give me perception checks, other than Ravi.
Where are you going?
Don't get too quiet.
19.
7.
Dirty 20.
6.
And Safira, sort of leading the slow descent down, you hear a name. Malik. Something, a voice.
Oh my gosh. As soon as I hear that, I'm gonna put my hand up.
What?
Someone's here. I heard a name.
Malik, is that you? You cannot run from me forever.
Should we call out to this guy? I don't know.
Do we hear that next time?
Yeah, that one you heard, yeah.
I don't know how we want to do this. Do we want to just run up on him? Or
Give me a perception check, also. Safira is the first one to speak.
7.
Plus whatever your perception is.
Hello. Where's perception? 11.
11. Hard to place it, but the voice sounds a little familiar. Which is curious, in the middle of the Ebb Woods. Familiar, and it's not Malik, which is sort of the familiarity that you were anticipating.
I do not think that it is a kobold. It could be someone that the kobolds have trapped.
I was
Oh, right. Well, then should we help him?
Oh, should we ready attacks?
I can hear all of you. Show yourselves.
You show yourself.
Who
You
goes there?
first.
What do you mean us first? You're outnumbered, mate. Oh, fuck's sake.
I know you.
Who is?
I know you.
That's fucking Ravi.
Oh my goodness, you never met. Well, you never met. You
You're
never met.
Bravco, right?
Yeah, Ravi. Yes.
Yeah.
From
Orba.
Orba, Safira.
Here's Sarah. Yeah.
From the ravine.
Yeah, from the Creeping Ravine. This is somebody we met so long ago.
Okay.
New friends.
Yeah, who are these two?
So this is the Goliath that was passed out in our cart, if you remember him.
You recognize
I
him?
do.
His eyes are open now, but you recognize him?
Yeah, he looks better.
He looks much better.
Yeah, I'm sure he feels better too. Kaimi, we picked her up. She was running from the Elatrians. She's brilliant. So.
Oh, thanks.
We hung out with your brother.
We did.
Yeah, south of
Oh,
Leopold's
yeah.
Garrison.
That's
He
right,
looked,
we did.
He
He's
looked
doing
better.
well.
He's doing much better.
Oh, good.
Yes, he is. He's not with me right now, but he's doing much better.
That's fine.
You were right. You were.
Still with the Broken Crown? Are you out there out here on Broken Crown business?
As you say that also, as you say Broken Crown business, you take a look at his attire. No purple, no black. So he's either wearing his sort of civilian clothes or, so you notice that he's not wearing the colors as he was last time. He was in a full uniform.
Undercover?
Yes. I am on a sensitive mission, and therefore I cannot wear my colors.
Does that seem true?
Oh wait, really?
Make an insight check.
It's good. 19.
It mostly does seem true. It seems like there's more. It seems like there's more to it than that. But it does not seem like a lie.
Okay.
Well, you were right. You were looking for someone that I think wasn't Malik.
Yes. First of all, what are you doing in the Ebb Woods?
What are you doing in the Ebb Woods?
You first.
We have a number of businesses here, but are you tracking someone or are you trying to help someone? Because if we have another enemy here, we'd like to know it.
Oh, yeah.
He's not necessarily an enemy. So, after I left you two, we were transferred to the city of Cotil. Soldiers of the Broken Crown.
You remember that? Amari told you that as well.
There was an assassination attempt on an elected official there, and I'm investigating exactly what happened. And this man, this Malik, knows what is happening. I tracked him leaving the city, heading in this direction, and so I'm trying to find him here in the Ebb Woods.
Why would he come into the Ebb Woods?
This is what I'm trying to find out.
Well, it seems like a pretty easy place to lose somebody, I guess.
So he knows that you are after him.
I don't believe he knows.
Oh.
When I heard footsteps, I found this bloody cloth with fresh blood upon it. I found this parchment with symbols.
Fuck's sake. Okay.
I had to assume Malik fell into this pit trap, and when I heard footsteps, I just assumed that it was him. I'm trying to keep my distance because wherever he is headed, he's going to find me some answers.
It looks like someone fell in and then got their way back out.
Correct.
I hate the pits here. I'm really not.
I mean, you take a peek over the edge, you can see, you're glad that Ravi didn't fall into it. There's spikes at the bottom. There's like wooden spikes, and it was covered with, a sort of thin mesh of cloth that had leaves or something covering it. So whoever it was fell in. There's blood on the spikes. You can see it there, like a dark reddish color on the spikes. So
So we were coming from dead east, and we haven't seen. But what does he look like?
We haven't seen anyone.
He's a dwarf with black hair, and he's wearing a sort of golden headband on his head.
Well, definitely not anyone like that. So, this Malik is potentially an accessory to murder, or he just has knowledge of the assassination?
It's a complicated story. This man, the assassination attempt was upon him, is a man named Varid Stendal. He's an elected official in Cotil, and he runs vermin control and containment, which is a much more important job in the city of Cotil than it sounds. There are rats everywhere.
Sure.
Many people assumed that the assassination attempt was a political one, but I cannot help but think that there's something more going on here. This man...
And just as that rat problem...
Yeah, I was about
So you have some history from Dillasoon, but
Yeah.
your parents... You remember at one point were asked to go to Cotil for their expertise.
Yeah.
They ultimately refused, but they work in a similar industry, and they needed more people because they have a real problem.
Yeah.
Here.
Your mother was a ratter?
You don't know that? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, there's a huge rat problem in Cotil, and many people assumed that there was an assassination attempt because he was not doing his job, but this felt personal, this felt strange to me. So... As I said, I'm not wearing my Broken Crown colors, and I began to ask around and figure things out. A woman who works for Mr. Varid, the VCC man, she speaks to me, and she tells me that many of her record-keeping duties and her clerical work has been passed up to higher-standing people on the committee. Normally, these people would not lower themselves to do reports and numbers, but they seem very interested in the numbers of rats and the locations of rats in our city. So I break into the offices of Vermin Control, and I find something very strange. Instead of just clearing up these rodent infestations, it seemed like Mr. Varid was relocating rats to different areas of the city. I find in one graph, there are two sets of graphs, one looking everything normal, here are rats, and there are rats, and then there is a second bunch of documents that says that there are a number of rats in one neighborhood one day, and then the same number of rats disappear from that neighborhood and end up in a different neighborhood.
Why would you need to cycle?
Individual tracked rats. They know which rats are where and
Correct.
which.
Estimates, but yes.
That is bizarre, and obviously really suspect, because, I mean, what are you doing with a bunch of rats other than experimenting on them?
And how exactly do you take an exact number of rats from one neighborhood and put them into another neighborhood?
This is an insane question, I grant you that, but is it the real rats, right? Like you squash them, they die.
I believe, as far as I know.
From your stay in there, they seem
Yeah.
mostly like normal.
And they're like, because normally if you have a population of rats, it's not like a finite number. Like that number will grow exponentially until something catastrophic happens. Like those rats will fuck and reproduce until they absolutely... I mean, really, like I'm surprised that the whole city's not actually overrun.
Correct.
And you're sure this isn't
I mean, that's
a
what the
murder
PCC's job is, to keep
due
the
to
population.
incompetence? Because if he's just shuffling the rats around, then that is, I would suppose, not vermin control. That's vermin hospitality.
I believe he's doing it for specific reasons. I don't. Maybe he's
Well, I would
punishing
hope so.
certain people. Maybe he's punishing certain neighborhoods. Maybe he's trying to scare people away or bring people in. I am not sure. But I take this information to the city council, and I tell them what I find. He does nothing to refute my allegations, but instead he yells at me. Meanwhile, this Malik, his assistant, he leaves the room, and by the time we return to their offices, the second strange set of documents are gone.
You've taken it upon yourself to investigate all this. The
Yes.
Broken Crown didn't send you out here. You're...
So, I have so many questions.
Well,
Are people getting sick in the city?
I'm not sure.
More than usual at the moment. Not, yeah. I mean, people get sick, sure, but not more than usual.
Have you ever seen one of these rats? When was the last time you saw a rat in your city? Listen, I know something about rats, all right, guys?
Oh.
We don't need to get into it.
They're everywhere. Depending on where you live, they are everywhere.
Do they look like big rats? Do they look like they've been chewing on magical waste?
No.
Oh, well, then never mind. I don't know much about these rats.
Are they...
Do you have...
I come from a long line of rat catchers.
Oh.
But
right.
you have experience with magical waste.
Look, where I'm from, the rats, they got a little bit out of hand, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so good at camouflage and other things, because you gotta get really smart to
Hide
capture the
from the
magical
rats?
rats.
You
God,
got
they
magical
really
rats?
will eat anything. They're eating magical waste.
Yeah.
Why? Okay.
That's good.
Well,
Anyway, I sympathize.
I think that if Malik fell in this hole, there's a good chance he hasn't gotten far, as he's obviously been injured. We could either spread out or go in groups and try to track some blood right now. To
Look,
see if
I
we can find
think
him.
spreading out in an area that we don't know where there are a bunch of pit traps is not a good idea.
Fine, we
So
stick
I say
together,
no.
But we follow the blood trail.
Yes.
That I agree with.
May I
yes.
suggest we do so quietly? I'm trying to find out why he's going to the Ebb Woods. I found a map in the offices of the VCC of the Ebb Woods. There's no reason why anyone should be interested in this place. It is cursed, it is haunted, it is gone for hundreds of years. So why this man is coming to the Ebb Woods in the first place makes no sense to me. I look at this map, I did not have time to bring it with me, but there was a circle around the northeastern part of the Ebb Woods,
All right.
Okay.
and underneath it, a caption that read, I don't understand what this is, but lodestone.
Oh, we can help you there, buddy.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay.
We know exactly what that
One
is.
of the reasons that we
should
are
keep
here.
it down. But that's great.
Okay, so
I say we head,
Anything
follow the
else?
blood trail, and then onto that lodestone if we
Was
can.
there anything circled on that map that said, you know, this is a really spiritual place?
No.
Okay.
Any other markers? Significant markers?
Not that I can recall. I did not have time to bring
didn't
the
you
map
bring
with
it?
me.
I mean,
Tell
it
me
would have
about
been
it.
stealing documents from the office.
Correct.
Are we in this? We're like the southwest side right now, right?
Southeast. Yeah, you came from the,
Oh, southeast. So we just need to go up. Okay.
roughly.
Go up.
Yeah. Oh, you're there. You went up. You're there.
do you know, presumably, based on your memory of the map, where we are at the moment? If we traveled north to where that circle was, it would take us through the actual center of the Ebb
Ruins
Woods. Yeah, the
themselves.
ruins.
Yes, I mean it was not just the northeastern Ebb Woods; it was the northeastern of the ruins.
Of the
specifically.
ruins.
Oh.
I see.
What
Thank you.
Gretchen said, that is where the kobolds are hanging out, right? Or am I wrong? Am I misremembering that? It's possible.
I think.
Reptile people that walk on two legs?
Yeah. Have you seen them?
I hope not to.
Oh, well, they're probably, unfortunately.
We're gonna.
We've already seen at least, well, we think.
Well,
we didn't see it with
one
our
of them
own
has
eyes.
seen us, actually, which is worse, and they made a mark. Can I see that? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Look like
this.
they could be kobold
So,
sprawling.
This one.
That was it. That one, or was it no? It was a circle.
It was.
No, it was a
Oh
square.
no, it's a square with an X.
What?
No, it
I'm
was a
confusing our nipple with.
Yeah,
square
no,
with
it was a square. So that's not here. But of course, it's ripped.
And none of these, show it to her. None of those are the symbol you're looking for?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, I hope you don't mind. We're just passing your paper around.
Please, any help. You saved my brother's life.
Oh, yeah. that was
This,
fun.
I mean,
I mean,
there's
not that-
aspects of there's the cross, and this one has. That could have been. See, that's partially the
So these have
box.
Sure.
quite a little written language.
Well-
Impressive, honestly.
What I would propose, well, we have several things we need to get done since you've been so forthright with us. One of the things actually we need to do is activate the lodestone. She'll take out her compass.
Apparently should be easy, just a big bonk.
Yeah, so these compasses are drawn to these particular lodestones to use in lieu of the traditional compass, but this one needs to be reactivated, so we just go and we bonk it. So this kind of has like a general idea of the direction we need to go, and I think it gets more focused as we get closer.
I
That's
hope
one
so.
thing. Another thing is very complicated and weird, but
Yes.
we need to go just to the Ebb Woods ruins in general. So
I'm sure the northeast corner will be a suitable part of the ruins for my purposes as well.
Yes, but we must tread carefully. I must find this man and figure out what he is doing.
The larger the group, the better, I feel like, right? Because then maybe we'll scare off some smaller amounts of lizard people.
I would hope.
We'll
You
see.
came from the west.
Believe so?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the southwest. Yes.
Okay, so you haven't been much more north than this yet.
No.
Have you also happened to
Right.
see a blonde man named Quintus walking around anywhere?
I have not.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I was just curious.
Should we?
Have we met?
That was the elf guy's one.
Oh,
You remember the one who had no arm?
right. Oh,
Skin?
oh,
Looking out for our friends.
So much going on.
Totally forgot about that.
We forgot about that guy whose arm has been torn off. We only saw him like 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
I
I feel so bad. I forgot.
Okay.
Robbie, if we do see these cobalt things, just letting you, they have some magical resistance.
Ah.
So hit them with something hard.
Understood.
Yeah.
Forward?
Forward.
North.
Watch the spikes and your feet and be light on your feet, I suppose. Yes.
Okay.
You guys start to work your way. So as you're moving further down, it's that sort of uncomfortable moving down a hill where you kind of have to keep your weight back and kind of shift your way down. It's getting sort of more steeper and steeper as you continue down the decline here.
Oh yeah, looking for blood tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody give me an investigation check.
Feel free, sir.
Oh, that's not great.
Those ones are hard to read out.
That's not actually his best.
Ooh. 25.
You have
11.
gotta be shitting me.
18.
17.
Great. So Kiimi, you see it's kind of toppled over and the stones are spaced out a little bit. Like it looks like this terrain used to be more upright, but you see one of the stones has that symbol on it. So you're heading in the right direction, but that pillar has been kind of spread out along the hill here. You guys find no other traces here yet of traps. Ravi's sort of a little familiar with what they might look like. You saw that webbing blanket of leaves. You sort of make sure that there isn't any patches that look suspiciously coalesced there of some of the fallen leaves. Make sure not to find anything.
Is there a way that if I were walking in front that I can like put a stick or something out in front of me to kind of like wave the leaves away?
Sure, like a
to
walking
see-
stick kind of. Yeah, sure. You find a suitable kind of stick that.
Just to detect these traps.
Yep.
Could I play Find Traps?
You could do
I
that.
would love to do that.
Go ahead and read that.
Sense the presence of any trap within range that is within line of sight. The trap for any purpose of this spell includes anything that would inflict a sudden or unexpected effect you consider harmful or undesirable, which was specifically intended as such by its creator. Thus, the spell would sense an area affected by the alarm spell, a glyph of warding, or a mechanical pit trap, but it would not reveal a natural weakness in the floor, an unstable ceiling, or a hidden sinkhole.
So it's not just going to reveal. As long as the intention was a trap, you would see it. So it's not going to find something that's just like an unstable portion of ground. But if the kobolds set up a trap, it would do that. What is the duration on that? Just so I
The
know.
duration is instant.
Does it have a?
Let's see.
Does not
it just
spell.
it just
merely
happens
reveals that
once.
a trap is present. You don't learn the location of each trap, but you do learn the general nature of the danger posed by a trap you sense.
Great. So it works for 120 feet, but just for the casting of it. So it doesn't like follow you.
Gotcha.
You would have to cast it again later if you wanted to detect more traps.
Okay.
So you take a moment to focus and kind of reach for those threads of magic, and you reach out sort of with your senses as best you can, and you open your eyes and you take a look around. It looks like there are several other pit traps on this slope. You guys aren't close to one. The one that you guys passed by was the one. It looks like they sort of spaced them out, so anyone coming down might fall into one of them. So you can kind of point out where there's one kind of by the base of a tree over there. There's one that looks like it's hidden by some tall grass over there. So it's obvious that this area is laden with traps. So keeping a careful watch is a good use of your time as you continue on. In addition, you find no more traces of blood at all.
That's suspicious.
It's difficult to tell if that's because of the kind of underbrush that's making it difficult to see. There isn't a lot of smooth surfaces, but also if he chugged a healing potion right away, that can kind of quickly congeal a wound. It's not going to heal like a massive gash or anything, but it could stop him from like actively bleeding. So you do know from the broken potion bottle that he might be hurt, but not sort of leaving a trail of blood. So you guys continue on.
You've gotten snatched.
It's possible.
Snatch.
I would have snatched.
I imagine you'd like to speak to this Malik rather than outright
would.
kill them.
Well,
I found.
I would like to see why he's in these woods and what he wants from the lodestone.
He's asking if he has permission to murder Malik on sight.
No.
If
Not
it
just yet.
comes up.
Was that not what you were getting at?
No, I just mean, do we want to speak with him? Would we rather
Yes.
detain him?
Yes.
Okay. Just asking. Want it to be clear.
Are we detaining him, or are we just
Yes.
trying to talk to him first, and then if he attacks, then we'll worry about detaining him?
I mean, you said you think he knows that somebody's on his tail.
Yes.
I'm just saying, if I were approached by this particular group, I wouldn't exactly... I'd be a little, frightened, I think, so...
So we detain him.
No, I'm saying we might not need to use any force. Our presence may be force enough.
Okay.
But we'll see.
He may not be the most happy to see me.
Well, sure.
Detainment.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if he sees you before he's doing whatever he's come here to do, you might not find out what he came here to do.
Yeah.
So it's part of, making sure that you're not sort of spooking him, as it were.
I see.
So further down the slope you go, making slow but steady progress. There's little in the way of conversation taking place as you all sort of concentrate very deeply on each step. Ravi very mindful, knowing that he spotted some of those traps along the hill, other obstacles, maybe patches of tall grass before you place a foot upon it. As if fast-forwarding through the seasons, the leaves on the trees are gradually shifting to a yellowish orange. The way the light comes through them, it's a little disorienting. It's almost as if the sun is starting to set with an amber glow around you, even though you know that it's far too early in the day for that. That breeze has picked up again. But the breeze, too, is a little confounding. At one moment, it seems to be coming from the west, and then changes direction swiftly. At one point, even feels like it's coming up from your feet toward the sky, and you can see your companion's cloaks kind of flapping as it moves like they're standing atop an air duct or
Can
something.
I check my
You can. It looks totally normal. No glowing.
Can
no
I kind of-
sounds at all.
Anything, guys? Does nobody want to say? This isn't spirity enough for you? I've got nothing. No one...
You
Might
hear a,
just keep moving.
hear a little bit of quiet grumbling coming from Safira as she looks at her bow.
Nothing.
I don't know what the problem is. This feels spirity to me.
Feels spiritual to me.
I don't know. The winds... no?
Something tells me when we
I'm
are
kind of...
in-
Can I kind of hold the bow up as though I'm offering it? Like,
Can have it up now. Nothing yet.
I'm just gonna...
It, no indication of sort of activity, but also no whining. Nothing like when you passed by the
Yeah, I guess
tree.
at least they're not complaining.
Something tells me when we are in the right place, you will know.
It will be very apparent.
We will know.
Please tell me.
Why is she talking to the stick?
It has the spirits of animals in it, so... I don't know if they can hear me, though. But
Sure.
I'm gonna kind of embarrassed, kind of like put it around my back again and just
She needs
quietly
to
listen.
Perform some kind of like a ceremony or ritual in order to improve the bow's tactics in battle. Yes,
Yeah.
that's about as good as I can reduce it anyway.
If it works, I can shoot the bow, become a wolf, or, tortoise or bear or whatever, and then I can go right back to where I started. So, should be worth it if it works. I have to die, though.
She's really excited about it.
Just don't ask any questions.
One thing at a time.
Okay.
Guys, continue on.
One elf out and another in. This party is volatile. Soon there will come a time when we must part and take our own path. Are you prepared for that?
Listen, buddy. I'm gonna miss you. I know you're gonna miss me too. But our ultimate goal is to still separate ourselves from each other so that my mind can be free and you can walk into eternal bliss or something, whatever dead people are supposed to do.
When I say we, I mean you and I from the party, not you and I from each other.
Okay, well, we're on different pages again. Yes. Eventually, I recognize that our goals are going to be separate from these guys. But can't we just, like, live in the moment and, like, have fun while we have friends? Please? I'm having a good time. Or is anything coming back to you? The fall air, the weird wind that's coming up from our feet? Is this conjuring anything for you? Pissed him off. Sensitive.
If I see Ravi like eyeing the person talking to herself, I'll give him like a.
You guys always have a lot going on.
It's true.
Yep.
That wind picks up a little bit more. It has kind of a strange, unique intonation as well. Starts out with kind of an innocent,
With
but
Spock.
it ends each torrent with a very strained, like someone pushing the last bit of air out.
I kind of want to. Can I kind of ride next to Orba a little closer and? So, sensing maybe undead stuff. Are you sensing undead stuff? How are we feeling with undead stuff?
I feel nothing.
Because it sounded for a second like the wind was whispering, and I didn't like that.
Safira,
Yeah.
let's keep our heads. Yeah? This place is pretty
Yes.
weird.
It's very weird.
Let's have an eye towards skepticism if we start seeing
Right,
things.
so you don't have like a sense, like a tingle for that kind of. Never mind. I'll just.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
With the thing, with the, when you're,
Yeah, no, I understand. No, I sense nothing.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you guys move forward a little further.
So disappointed.
In your peripheral vision, all of you start to see little flickers of dim blue light, sort of ethereal-looking strands. But when you try to turn your head to look directly at them, they disappear. So they're always kind of just at the edges of your vision, and they disappear every time you go to look. And sort of in your head, you're replaying some of the conversations you've had with people, the haunting of the Ebb Woods, the spirits that run throughout these ruins and the forest. Sort of trying to keep your cool as you understand that you're going to be moving through territories that these undead spirits are keeping a watch over. You feel little physical manifestations, sort of a hot breath on the back of your neck,
Oh.
a light touch on the arm,
No.
a little whisper in the ear. Everybody give me perception checks.
Oh. Hot breath. Why is their breath hot? They're deceased. What's making it warm?
Perception? 11.
I wish I had a better modifier.
Finally.
13.
13 also.
Natural 20.
17.
As you guys are looking around, you see in the trees, on one tree and one on another, Orba spots one, Ravi the other, a couple more scrawled symbols. It looks like someone's taken a cloth and carved into the bark of the tree a couple of symbols. One of them looks like this. Oops. So one of them's like almost like a little hat, like a little bump, and then a line. That was the one you saw before. Hat with a line.
Okay.
And the other one that you see is... Oh, The other one that you
Oh,
see
no.
is
Can you get it? You got it?
the other one that you see is this one, the same one that you saw before. So another sort of square with an X through it, and then that sort of bump with the line. So you see those two possibly kobold scrawled markings on the trees there. Denote something that you're not familiar with at this point. And once again, neither of those markings appear on the page that you've been given.
You've got like a kind of close one.
Which one?
Well, that one kind of looks like that little bump, like
Yeah.
almost like a hack. No, not a hack.
But in the wrong
Crook.
direction.
Yeah.
And there's an X, but a circle, not a square.
And you guys can see Ravi sort of holding up the page, looking at one of the symbols on the tree there.
Maybe it's like a symbol language that's evolved over the centuries, or I don't know.
The last time we saw the square with the X in it, there was a lizard guy around. So maybe we want to be extra smart.
You're right.
And you rolled a natural 20 on the...
Yeah.
In addition to the symbol scrawled into the tree, as you walk over, you see the scrawling, and as you kind of move over to look at it, the ground beneath your feet in this area is rather soft. It's sort of soil underneath your feet. And as you move just past sort of a patch of grass, you look down at your feet, and there's footprints moving through there, sort of in the direction that you were headed. Not creature footprints, like a boot, like booted footprints, moving in the same direction that you were headed.
Oh, Ravi, over here.
Yes.
I'm just gonna point down. Boots.
They look like a humanoid, could be dwarven-sized foot.
That must be him.
Okay. How smart is this Malik guy? Like, smart enough not to get kidnapped? Because if we see him, he might be bait for us.
He's an intelligent guy. He's not like a survival expert to your knowledge. He's like a council member. He's an assistant to the council member. So more of an it's a pusher. More of a political mind than a ranger's mind, but
I
not.
don't think we have to worry that we're being played. By
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and worry for all of us.
I'm less worried about getting played by him, but exactly what you said is right. He could have been snatched because the kobolds decided that we looked like people who wanted to negotiate for a ransom for this Malik guy, which, you know, we won't. We will just kill them. So,
Regardless, the
bad team.
shoes are going this way.
Great, let's quietly...
You guys trying to move quietly through here? Everybody give me stealth checks.
Come on.
Yeah, you have no.
Oh my... That's
Nice.
cocked, right? Is that cocked? Someone
Yeah,
tell me
that's
that's
cocked.
cocked. Thank you.
23?
Oh, and it's still shitty.
17.
Oh my goodness.
17?
3.
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
Plus 6.
You guys start to follow those tracks, and they kind of disappear and reappear mainly because the ground isn't all soil. It goes over rock for a little bit, returns to soil. So you're kind of tracking those footprints as best you can as you continue to move through the area. And then you all hear a sound all at the same time. And all of your kind of heads turn in the same direction, in the direction of the sound, and piercing through the relative quiet of the woods here. A screeching voice fills the air around you. Help! Help me! Please! And you turn over, and there's someone, that same sort of bluish color, the spectral sort of threads that you were seeing in the peripheral of your vision. It's a human figure, a human man, and he's like sunk up to his chest into the ground, and he's reaching his hand out in the general direction of the party, and so he looks like he's falling deeper and deeper into the soil or the grounds. Or, don't leave me, please!
Nobody touch him.
How far is he from you?
Like 15, 20 feet away.
I'm sorry, he's blue and ethereal? Or
Yes.
he's-
He looks,
Like
he
a
looks,
gravedigger?
he looks, give me a perception check.
Or a husband or a wife?
Describe to me what a husband looks like.
Does he have...
16.
16, the attire that he's wearing seems more commonplace, not like a gravedigger. Yeah, he's not wearing like heavy gloves or anything, like standard sort of
Not a
commoner
sheriff
attire. Not that you could tell, yeah. So he's reaching his hand out, you can see him straining, and you see his eyes kind of bulging, and at one point it kind of, he shifts lower into the ground. Please!
Nobody touch him.
Please!
Spirits could be playing tricks.
Either way, he's already dead.
Can Orba just cast Mage Hand just to see like how that, like if the hand passes through him, how it kind of interacts with his?
Let me look up Mage.
Give him
Hand.
a high five.
I think Mage
Sorry,
Hand
buddy.
passes
What's
through.
that drowning meme where the person's drowning and you're giving high fives? Yeah. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Like if it passes, I think Mage Hand passes through corporeal things, but I just want to see how it interacts. Sorry, yes, how it interacts with this thing in
Okay,
general.
so the mage hand appears. You watch the little hand appear, and are you like reaching for his hand with it? What do you?
I
doing
guess
with
so.
the
Yeah,
mage
like
hand?
I'll pretend to like simulate that.
The hand appears, and he sees it. He registers it and reaches out for it, and it just passes right through. It doesn't have any sort of effect on him physically.
Okay.
And he disappears underneath the ground after a moment.
Look, this is going to be really awful, but I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of this, and we just have to ignore it and keep going.
Can we talk to these things? Can they tell us if we're heading in the right direction? If they've seen Malik, can they help us in any way?
It seems to me like they might be trapped in reliving the moment of their death when everything sunk in this town.
I would be willing to guess exactly that they're trapped in a moment of time. We shouldn't trust anything they say. They're experiencing the past, not what's happening right now.
If there's more
And once more, and you look, all the heads swing in the opposite direction. And this time, there's another spectral man, and he's like on all fours, but his back leg is pinned on this giant piece of rubble. And the rubble itself is spectral too. It's not like an actual boulder. It's a big blue sort of pulsing boulder. And he's trying to pull at his leg, and you can see that like the bones are broken in his leg. And he's trying to pull at it. Please, hey, move it, please. I can't do it. And he's like pushing up against the rock, but he can't get his foot free.
Look at him. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
What?
Have you seen anyone else come this way?
Please help.
If I go up and try to touch the rock, is the rock corporeal?
It's physical. You can touch it. Yeah.
Let's move the rock.
Okay, let's move it.
Where'd the
Go,
rock?
go, 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 go. Now,
You're
now,
trapped.
now, just now.
I'm gonna try to move the rock.
Who's helping here?
I'm helping.
Right.
I will stand back.
Okay. We'll say the first three to get there were Ravi, Safira, and Kiimi. All of you give me athletics checks.
Oh, please.
I'm gonna hold a sacred flame to if he like lunges at anyone.
Okay.
17.
17.
11.
11.
11.
11. So with the combined 3 strength, the three of you, for a moment you feel like when you put your shoulder up against it that you might just fall through, but it feels solid, solid to the touch. You go up, and the boulder starts to roll, and he finally pulls his leg out, and he disappears, sort of in relief. And in that moment that you sort of helped the man, you feel that sort of energy that you were using to push the boulder. It kind of swirls around, and you can feel as if you're feeling his emotions, the relief wash over you. Like you feel his energy from this moment in time that was captured sort of pass through you. And you feel an energy almost as if the spirit itself, as it was being released, was like just borrowing a little bit of life's essence, the life that was sort of stolen away from it at that moment when he was trapped in the ruins. And he takes just a little piece of essence from you,
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, I hate that.
and you just feel slightly less. Like a piece has been taken, some life's essence has been taken from you. And yet it's a conflicting feeling. So you're feeling both the relief of having released this tormented creature, but then also feeling like it is borrowing a piece of you to sort of experience that relief.
All of us?
Just the three that
Just
helped.
the three.
Yeah, just the three that
You
helped.
guys had to help.
Well, that was confusing.
What?
I don't think we should do that again.
No.
Probably not.
And at this moment, you hear another sound. You see 2 spirits walking. A woman, she's holding the hand of a young child at her side. And they seem like they're kind of walking normally, but the woman is staggering a little bit. She sort of steps back and then forward, and she turns her head, and on the other side of her face, there's a giant, like, indentation in her skull. Like something hit her very hard, and she's holding the hand of her child, and she's moving a little further, and then she sees the party. Please, take her with you. I don't think I'm going to make it. Please. And she's holding the child's hand, like, out to you guys.
Orba's eyes are down on the ground.
I'm taking it. I'll be
Can
fine.
Orba try to grab Safira?
Yes. Give me a contested, Orba, give me an athletics check. and Safira either athletics or acrobatics to sort of avoid her
How the
grabbing you.
turntables. Oh, you're gonna fucking win.
That's
Is
gross. Yeah, the edge of that is weird.
It really is. Oh, that's a 6. 12.
5.
12. Orba reaches and Safira quickly moves. And are you reaching out for the child's
Yeah.
hand? Great. So the child reaches his hand out. You feel the sort of warm touch of her fingers, and then it gets cold. And the woman sort of lets the child's hand go. Thank you. And then
Great, now we have a kid.
again disappears. The child disappears.
No, the child.
No, I'm kidding.
And you feel
It's like I didn't just adopt a ghost child, did I? I didn't want that responsibility.
just a little extra touch of life stolen from you, or borrowed from you, more accurately. Like it feels like these creatures, so tormented and in pain, they're relieved that you're willing to sort of grant them just a little bit of life's touch as you sort of save them from the predicament that they're
Look,
in.
I'll be fine. I'll start taking my own advice. There was a fucking kid. I'm sorry.
What happened in this place? What happened to these people? Why is this place sunken like it is? I don't understand.
Does your curse have anything to say about this?
Yeah. The reason that it's sunken is because there was a priestess who created a bunch of tunnels, and eventually the whole town collapsed on purpose. She caused it because it's a long story, but this town did something wrong to somebody. They wrongly accused and murdered someone who happened to have a very powerful sister who decided to sink the town.
Oh, okay.
And the curse voice in my head, remember Mr. Curse? He might be the person who was killed. He might be the person who killed him. We don't know yet. Speaking of, buddy, hey, anything?
Very quiet at this moment, very clear-headed.
He has chosen to be very quiet at this moment.
Oh, what a convenient time.
Does he know things about the lodestone? Can he point us in the right direction?
He hasn't mentioned it, but next time it comes around, I'll ask.
If this spirit thing happens again, does anyone mind if I try putting it out of its misery first?
And as if on cue, you hear a moaning, and you turn around and look. Leaning up against sort of a tree trunk, a real tree trunk, is a man, and he has like a giant shard of wood, like a splintered piece of wood that's been stuck into his gut, and he's sort of, end it, please.
Helig Ild. Do a sacred flame at him.
Okay, he fails.
Do I feel anything?
A moment passes, washes over you that feeling of a little bit of borrowed life, and yet relief as well.
What the fuck is that?
Look, I know that I'm the wrong. I've done it twice now, but I think the more we do this, there are going to be side effects. There are consequences to this. I think we should keep
Are
walking.
you feeling something?
Yes.
And another noise. This time a sort of underwater noise. And you look behind you to see swimming in the air, like he's not in anything. He comes up and he catches a breath and then and he looks like he's trapped in something that's filling up with water, but you can't see the water. And he's sort of
These things are beyond help. We should move on from here.
We should. Let's please keep
Leave
moving.
it.
Can I
Try
kind
to
of
go
try to
past it.
almost shield Kaimi and Orba's eyes in front of me and just push them forward?
Watch where you're going.
and you hear one kind of
These souls were tortured long ago. We cannot help them now.
I've still got that big hood cape thing on, right? So I'm just gonna shield my eyes and keep my head down from now on.
Just keep your head
Yeah.
down.
Hood
And you
up.
start to move a little quickly. You lose focus on the footprints for a moment, and then you sort of see a few more of them. Get back on track. Start to push your way through. Who touched some of these things?
Everyone but Orba.
Orba, and then you touch two.
I
correct?
touched 2.
As you guys continue on, you move out of this this sort of cursed or haunted area. You can feel that bit of life drain taking its toll on you, but also feeling that it's granted you something as well. Those of you who assisted the ghosts now have the Bane of the Ebb Woods. This is a sort of...
Oh.
It's not quite a curse. It's more just sort of a touched sort of...
It's a bad feeling. It's bad vibes.
Stacks of Bane of the Ebb Woods are acquired in assisting the tormented spirits in the Ebb Woods. And this is something that you can kind of feel as you realize that you help these creatures and yet at the same time sort of helped yourself, sort of not listening to their misery. For each stack, your max HP is reduced by 4. So 4 for each of you, if you want to go to
max
and that's your max HP, not like you lose 4 HP, like you can't
So you
get
now
above.
can only have
Yes.
35.
Yes.
So even if you're
So you can only have 24 now as your maximum.
Minus 4, you
Yep,
said?
4. And Saphira, you lost 8.
35.
Yeah, 8 HP, 1 for each stack, because you touched 2 of them.
Just like put
Good.
Emphasis.
For
You're
each,
trying to get a nice one.
for each stack that you have, and I'll do Saphira's first because she has 2, so I'll mark off 2 stacks here. You gain inspiration.
Fuck.
You have 2 inspirations, which means she's allowed to re-roll a roll. So if she fails a roll,
Okay,
she can
I'll write
attempt to
that down.
re-roll it. So I have checked off. Go ahead and give that.
Ebb Woods are tricky.
Matt.
Any ghosts around, Matt, that I can... What?
Oh,
You have.
Oh, you
I
can
see
no
that
longer
there
be
is, like, a thing
inspired.
for inspiration.
You beach.
What's
I
up?
can't receive inspiration.
You cannot receive inspiration.
Oh, you little...
So you have 1 stack, but I already crossed off the inspiration because you cannot receive it.
Fuck.
Wait, why can't you be inspired anymore?
I pissed off Kozni.
Yep.
So you have 1 stack.
Okay,
as
Daisy,
well.
she's catching on.
So it occurs to you that as you continue to travel through the Ebb Woods, it's possible that you can choose to or not assist more of these spirits and gain the benefits or the sort of drawbacks from doing so.
Interesting.
But it's also minus 4 max HP every time.
Every single time. Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't know, and after
But
you
not
finish a
that
long rest, you
number.
get 1 of those max HPs
Yeah,
back.
and then it's max.
You get 1 of those after a
Yeah,
long
so it's sort of a
rest?
lingering bane of the Ebb.
Doesn't feel worth it.
But a reroll in a critical moment
You only
can
get
be all
1
the
of
difference.
those max HP back every long rest.
Also,
You have 8 days now.
Also, I'll remind our audience that we do inspiration.
You better be
a
happy, little
different-
girl. You better be living in the best spirit world.
We do inspiration a little differently. Traditionally, inspiration, you have to declare it before you make the roll. You give yourself advantage on it. But we allow a true re-roll, so you can fail and then re-roll it yourself.
Thank you, gracious DM.
So,
Yeah. So
guys-
gracious.
So Graven feels all of the sort of weighing on him without any of the inspirational essence that's sort of drawing from.
Graven, are you okay? You look a little upset.
I feel.
Okay, no more spirits for any of us, I
No
think.
more spirit.
I agree.
Especially for Graven.
I'm so confused.
Don't touch the ghosts.
Okay.
They grant as well as take.
It's not worth it.
There's something missing, I
Don't
feel.
tell her what they grant. It's not. Don't.
I'm giving Graven a look like.
Don't touch them.
Onward. Eyes down.
Please.
Let's continue on. When the sounds of the spirits subside behind you, you hear, as you're moving quickly forward, cloaks over your head, that last spirit that kind of shh, and then vanishes behind you as you get further and further away.
Nightmares.
You shake off the unease of their suffering. Try to focus on the path ahead. You haven't even gotten to the ruin, and you can already see why attempts to resettle the Ebb Woods have been few and far between. Even without the apparitions making themselves known, the sorrow seems embedded in the forest itself. It gives you this sort of mild but persistent queasiness, like the second day of a 2-day hangover. You see some larger rock formations and ledges that are popping up. They force you to take a particular route rather than just being able to walk anywhere you want through the forest. Most of the time, it's a superficial decision. The trail divides, then it weaves back together, all of them kind of going up and down, and more or less all coming back to each other. But you get to a spot where a kind of center ridge is separating 2 options for travel that break off from each other, one heading a little more directly west, and the other continuing on to the north. So you have a little bit of a crossroads here. You could also kind of climb up the ledge if you want, although the dirt looks a little soft. It looks difficult to do that. So you have a choice.
Can I take out my compass?
You can. And once again, it hasn't chosen a direction, but it started to swing a little less. First it started like this, now it started to swing a little less. And it's pointing more in the direction of the northbound path as you take out the compass.
Well, if your map is correct, we want to go to the right. Right.
guess.
Okay.
It's getting better, Graven.
Good.
That's a good sign.
Can I try to get up on this ledge for a second and just see what's going on
Give me an athletics check as you try to climb the soft ridge.
before we commit ourselves here? 10, 14.
14. It's difficult to get a footing because it's sort of soft soil. There's roots sticking out of some of the trees that are growing up above. You grab onto one of the roots and you can kind of pull yourself up and get your head up, but it's hard to get an arm up because the soil just crumbles and breaks off. You can peek up. Is there something you're looking for in particular as you look up? It's kind of just more of the same, sort of ebb and flowing terrain as it moves up and down.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check as you're up there.
14.
14. As you've just pulled yourself up, and you can see just up the top of this ledge, you look up, and the root that you're hanging onto is for a tree that's sort of up above you. And you look up, and there's some kind of contraption up there. There's like a little wooden loop. There's a string. It's going in another direction. It's hard to tell exactly what it is, but some kind of mechanical setup has been embedded up in the tree up there.
Okay. So I climb back down. There isn't much to see in either direction, but directly above us there seems to be some kind of device, mechanism, doohickey, if you will.
Okay.
There's a string and a small... describe it again.
It's like a little wooden, like, circle almost.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a pin, as if like it could come off or something. Yeah.
Did you see where the string led to?
It's hard to tell.
It's-
down to the base of the tree, hard to tell.
Okay, well,
Maybe a trap. It may be something that we can use to swing on or
Can I-
move
It's not
fast.
quite that big. It's like it's almost like a tripwire.
Then it's definitely a trap.
I have a
I know what it is.
Can I try like climb up there and disable it? Is it like within my ability?
If you climb up the wall, you
Yeah.
could. You might even, as you get to the top of that little root that Ravi was hanging
Yeah.
onto, you might even have to like mage hand, like it's
Yeah.
up a little bit.
But I can't climb like the tree that the string is.
If you got all the way to the top of the ridge, you could.
Okay.
It's just difficult to do that.
Okay, I'll try.
Give me an athletic.
Yeah,
Okay.
give it a
Why
shot.
not?
Let's go.
Don't have brain.
So you watch her kind of.
It's very bit 5.
She gets part of the way up the root, and just the soft soil, it just is loose in your hands. Can't crawl all the way up. What's the range on Mage Hand?
30 feet.
30
Yeah.
feet. Yeah, from all the way down here at the ground, you can't quite kind of Mage Hand up there, but if you got up higher, you might be able to.
Do you want to try getting on my shoulders?
You would let me do that?
Just be careful.
I will do that.
Okay, take a moment.
I don't have to roll an athletics check to get on Graven.
He doesn't help you.
Is that closer?
Pretty close.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Mage Hand.
I'm sorry, I hit that. Little hand appears, although I think you have the ability to make it invisible. You don't have to. But, sort of.
Make it invisible?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it invisible. Why not?
There's just kind of a sort of a popping of arcane energy.
I'm so
Okay.
jealous.
And up near the tree, are you like, what are you doing with it? You can see the little string with a.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe slide my hand down and see if I can see where it goes.
You slide the mage hand fingers down, and it does feel like taut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is only one Mage Hand day. I don't have 2, right?
You only have one mage hand. Yeah.
Can I pull it?
You can.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab hold of that little string with my Mage Hand. I'm gonna yank it down as hard as I can.
You yank it down, and you hear kind of a little ping, and the string disappears. And then on a nearby tree, kind of behind you guys a little bit, part of the bark falls off. And you see a little bit of string. It looks like the string was holding up the bark, and now that the string has gone loose, there's a sort of a exposed skin of the tree underneath the bark. There's another symbol there. A hidden symbol this time.
Look at this teamwork.
Waiting for the dark to shoot
I'm still
out of it.
under.
I know, right?
I was waiting
Yeah.
for an explosion.
I'm not coming down.
Bring you over there.
After a
Like,
pause, you hear an enormous bang. And everything
An
around
empty
you
page
goes up
here?
in smoke.
This time.
fall into the earth.
Oh, that's not the right one.
Uh-oh.
You see 2 parallel lines connected by 2 sort of squiggly lines.
Squeaky.
What the heck?
None of this is
The symbol. It's like death.
Almost like a little ladder. Like it looks like that. Like 2 parallel lines with 2 squiggly lines.
It's approximately parallel.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a symbol that you see. And that one, again, sort of stands out. It was hidden for some reason. You know kobolds are hoarding creatures, stashing creatures. That sort of occurs to you as strange.
This is I guarantee you, this is the location of a stash. Or it's like a start of a hunt to get to a stash. I don't know. Look, we've got a bunch of crap to do in this forest, so I don't know if we've got time to hunt down a stash. But I would be willing to bet you almost anything that there is a stash
Just in the
somewhere.
immediate area of that tree, just checking around.
Give me a perception check.
Can I help?
What?
Can I help?
Sure.
Oh.
Give me an investigation.
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 Do I get advantage because she's helping?
Oh,
She's
I
also-
rolled.
Can I
Oh.
also investigate?
Yeah, we're
From on
lumping
Graven's
them.
shoulders?
We're lumping them all together. Graven's still walking around with Kimi on his
we're
shoulder.
going
Sure, why not?
together.
7.
No,
13.
11. Wait, I get to roll again because it was a 1.
Hello.
Yeah,
Well.
14.
19. You don't seem to find the sort of opening or hatch that would lead to some sort of cache. However, with a detailed and careful look around, as you're just searching, there's a large rock that's kind of near the base of the tree, and perhaps unrelated to this little mechanical device, there is sort of a slightly bloody smear on the rock and some boot prints at the base. It looks like maybe he stopped here to sit for a moment. So you see like two boot prints facing away from the rock, and then just a slightly dried blood smear on the rock. So possibly your quarry came to a rest briefly at this spot.
Interesting. Can I move the rock or
Sure.
look around to see if he dropped anything or?
Nothing else.
All right. Well, it's clear that he was here. We must be heading in the right direction. So.
And the thought also occurs to you, possibly gaining on it. If he stopped to take a rest, possibly gaining on
Let's keep moving.
Okay.
it. Start to continue on.
I'm gonna shake you down.
Dang. He's not gonna notice.
You choose that direction that sort of leads a little more to the north. Walking through it feels like this, it's like a little gulch almost, no water in it. Steep sides of soil, rock, and roots exposed by the ongoing upheaval of the Ebb Woods. After a little while, you look up and it looks like the gulch starts to widen. Like it's kind of narrow right now, but as you go a little further, it starts to widen out a little bit. It makes the path that you're on a little less congested, a little less feeling like you're sort of trapped in this little area. But before you get to the part where it really starts to widen out, it does seem like there's something standing in your way. Facing away from you, and seated, or possibly just squatting, at the base of a tree is a small reddish creature. About Kiimi's height, but with a long tail that extends out behind it. It looks to be kind of closely examining the tree that it's facing toward.
Facing away from us.
Yes, it's facing away from you toward a little tree. And it's kind of looking at the base of the tree, the bark of the tree, the branches, the leaves, a very kind of protruding reptilian snout that sort of looks around in different directions. So you see that creature up ahead.
Should we just take it out?
Shall I immobilize it?
Please.
If we want to try to speak with it.
Why would we try to speak with it?
Speak.
They speak Draconic. Does somebody speak that?
Like that.
I mean, I can't. If I did speak to animals, that doesn't even apply
It's
to this
not
guy
normal,
because, yeah.
All right,
Be
so
able to understand.
we wouldn't be able to, if we don't speak Draconic, we wouldn't be able to.
No, unless you have a spell or something that
Okay.
allows you to speak.
Should we not just like avoid it? What if we make its family mad?
We see any more? Is there any evidence of any more?
Everybody can give me perception checks, taking a look. It's a little difficult where you are just because you're kind of in this little gulch.
Oh my
but,
god, it is difficult where we are.
Oh,
4.
You're gonna-
That's how difficult it is
going
where we are.
Got a natty
She got a
one.
91.
No.
So, would I know if these are creatures that, like, are protective over family? Like, do they live in, like, a circulus kind of thing? Like,
They
are
like
they,
travel in
like,
packs, yeah, like in
Okay.
sort of a pack of a dozen or so. They sometimes make
And
larger communities.
Are they the kind of animals that would, like, leave something that's more intimidating than it alone? Or do they have...
Definitely. They,
Okay.
from your knowledge of them, they're pretty confrontation averse. They don't take a fight unless they know they can win. They like to take fights like in overwhelming numbers, so they know they can beat you. And so for those perception checks, you take a look around, and in this area, you see no other movement at all. So in a rare moment, the creature seems alone. Very rare for a kobold to be alone on its own.
Look, if it seems like it's alone and we're trying not to get into a conflict with these things. Do we want to just leave it?
See how it reacts to us.
I mean, they usually don't pick a fight when they know they're outnumbered. I don't know. It would have to be pretty insane.
You don't want to maybe try to spook it with magic and not be seen?
Well,
like if I make the ground rumble or something and try to maybe and that way, it doesn't go back to the rest of the people and be like, hey, I saw these people.
Do you think they're gonna be like, oh, well, why did the ground rumble?
I don't know. I mean, if the ground rumbles in Ebb Woods, are you really going to question it?
Let's hurry before it notices us.
Okay.
Is there a way to like kind of take cover a little bit to try to get out of its sight, or
Like up against the walls of this little valley that you're in, you can kind of flatten yourself a little bit. It's not like a perfect hiding spot, but
How far can you do that?
30 feet?
I mean, you're farther than that right now. You're probably 100 feet away from it. You could get closer to it.
I would need to get close.
I mean, I feel like it'll sense us before we get that close, but we can try.
If we get
Do you want to go alone?
Sure. They don't have
Alright.
like an alarm call or anything. Like they don't like. We don't.
They
know.
could make a screeching noise.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like,
If he just sees me, not as big of a threat, doesn't see you to report back to other people, let me go try. If that's okay. Okay.
Be
how
careful.
close are you trying to get?
Yeah.
To cast thaumaturgy, like right under its feet, so 30 feet.
Give me a stealth check.
Oh my god.
Which die am I using today? Stealth.
I'm
Here.
just picturing the sound cannons make. Little birds.
It's not great. 9. 7.
7.
It's pretty bad. Wow.
Creep a little bit closer. Amy, an expert in stealth, watching Orba clomp her way forward.
Clomp, clomp.
Sort of a little bit, one boot at a time. Your boots sort of not tied perfectly tight, make like a little like thumping on the ground. Try to creep ever closer, get within 60 feet, 50 feet, 40 feet, and then you watch as the head kind of perks up a little bit, possibly hearing the sound.
Hide to the wall if I can, if there's any space.
You
for it.
can.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to take our break.
Ah, no! Oh no!
Sweet little blabs.
Oh
Don't hurt the blabs.
Oh my god. They're not real
Don't get
blabs.
attached to the blabs.
We don't even know if it bleps yet.
Yeah, we don't even know if they've left.
They're just like, sorry if I just blew out the mic.
Worth it.
Humanoid. Would
They are
person
humanoid
work on
creatures.
them?
Yep.
Okay.
They're technically humanoid creatures.
I assumed that they were blue because they're kobolds, and you said it was
Oh,
red.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
what is
Oh,
that?
Kobold, kobolds?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
Coldbolt is.
Kobolds.
Oh, Cobalt.
Cobalt.
No, I got you.
Oh.
Oh, I followed
Kobold.
you, baby.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
right
they look
there.
like little, crappy little dragons with no wings.
Stop.
Stop.
Did you not see the
We're
picture?
killing them all.
Oh, yeah.
We are ridding this land.
That is where we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick 15, and then we'll be back. We'll dive back to the Ebb Woods.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
Nice.
And we will continue the story of Ravi, Kiimi, and everybody else when we get back.
Yes, I will do shout outs for subs and bits and stuff when we get back.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on the other side.
Oh, wait. 2 seconds. Watch this.
Oh.
Hold on. Ready?
Oh.
3, 2, you go.
Okay. I don't know what we're waiting for. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on Tabletop Notch. We're going to be diving right back into the Ebb Woods. We've wandered upon a creature in the woods, a little reptilian red creature, possibly, maybe, I wouldn't say a friend, but we'll find out. But before we do that,
I realized I was so busy laughing with the group about what kobolds look like that I didn't consolidate anything. So bear with me really quickly.
give us the extended version.
I apologize. Okay. Snapping Cover did 500 bits. Crocodile NA subscribe with Prime. Crazy Locha gifted a sub. Crazy Locha gifted 5 more subs. GF Powers did 100 bits. Zagoodies did 100 bits. Jeremiah gave out a community sub. John Cohen did a subscribe. Thank you so much. Why does my thing not show a lot of stuff?
It does subscribe.
That's all I have listed, but I know that there's more, so I'm going to scroll through chat and I'm going to find it. But as of now, that's all that Twitch dares to report to me.
We'll do
So
some
I
more at the end.
apologize. I truly do.
Blanket, thank you.
Blanket,
We
thank
love
you.
you.
Silly
Thank
joke.
you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Orba creeps forward, one step at a time. Now, as the creature, you can see the head beginning to turn.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing anything as a reaction to that? You're still a little bit far away.
Mm-hmm.
You're like 50, 40 feet away. But that's still, like,
Not
the
with-
noise is audible from further than that. That's just the cast range, right?
I guess so. If
Yeah.
I make the ground shake like 10 feet away from him, that's something that he'll still have
Yeah,
vision
it's just
for.
the point of casting
Oh.
is at that point. So
Cool. Okay, I didn't
you're
know.
close enough for him to. He's just not going to get the full effect.
Got it. Yeah, I'm gonna try to just like hide myself a little bit if I can, and
Okay.
cast thaumaturgy and make the ground kind of
So
rumble
as
a
he
little.
starts to turn, her hand goes out and there's a little kind of rumbling of the rocks and dirt. Give me a perception check as he's turning.
How far away are we? We're still like 100.
What the fuck is going on?
God,
I
unbelievable.
think
Really
you
bad.
started at 100 and she's now. Yeah, you're like 100 feet away. Okay.
5.
5.
Yeah.
As he turns, you see what looks like some odd, unusual features of a kobold.
Oh,
Your
no.
experience with kobolds is purely academic. You haven't met one in real life, but you've seen what they look like. You've seen depictions of them, drawings of them.
Okay.
So these features are familiar to you, and they're not terribly rare, so, you be aware of what they're... The general look of what they look like. Now, it's poorly explained, but you're aware of what they look like, or what they're supposed to look like. And as you're looking at this one in particular, there's two things that seem a little strange. First of all, their tails are usually very dexterous and muscular. It's sort of, they use it for balance, they can use it to climb trees, and this one's tail seems a little kind of deflated or decrepit, like almost like it's not at full strength. It's kind of sagging, a little, like as it turns, instead of the tail being upright and swiveling, it like drags along the ground as it's turning.
Oh, God.
Please be ready to kill.
I killed this thing. Can I just kill it?
Please be ready to kill. Please.
Okay.
In addition to that, kobold movement is usually very frenetic, almost like a bird. Like you can like they kind of move around very quickly. Their heads move around very quickly, and this one just kind of turns a little sluggish in your direction.
Okay.
It's hard to tell if it's injured or sick or there's something kind of off about it.
Okay.
And you're making the rumbling in the ground, and it's turning just as that noise is happening. And it turns, and totally unfazed by the sound and the rumbling
weird.
sensation at all, it turns all the way around.
That's weird.
And it stares directly at you.
I'm gonna start slowly.
And you peer a little closer. Graven starts to move
Start to
forward.
slowly kind of move.
Yeah, I've
towards
got
her.
my bow out because it's right by Orba.
And there's the sort of reptilian, reptilian head and a sort of snout protruding out. But you look in between the two portions of
Stop it.
the snout, and there's a cutout like hole at the back. And you see the face of some kind of humanoid creature that seems to be wearing a
Yes.
kobold-esque
Yes.
suit or costume or that's
raccoons
sort of making
Genius.
Fucking unhinged.
Okay, couple quick questions.
yes.
Settle down. Is the height of this person that is in this thing dwarven height?
Even shorter, like it was kobold height, so like
Okay.
halfling height. In fact, that face looks like maybe the face of a halfling in between the two
Wow.
sort of upper and lower jaw.
Okay.
there.
Oh no.
Quentin wasn't.
So you can see him, so he's a little startled by the sound, and you can see he has these like claws that are going over his hands to make them look like kobold claws. And he tries to get his balance a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop thaumaturgy. Sorry.
And he looks to you and he sees people like Graven coming up behind.
Slowly, but like.
Yeah.
Don't. I'm gonna do like a little wave, like a stave.
Safira.
I'm kind of I'm having it knocked, but I'm just lowering it so that I'm.
The Ebb Woods are busy today, no?
You tell us.
You're a little bit further behind. If people are approaching, but Orba's the first one there.
I'm hiding behind Safira and Graven.
It's nice to meet you.
Yes, you have my thanks for not shooting or attacking me on sight.
And I should be thanking you as well. What are you, what is this?
And as he sees everyone else approach, he lifts a hand up, and you can see now that it's like, first of all, the costume is not fashioned of like cloth and fake materials.
No.
They're scales, and like he has taken.
Oh no, he crawled in there.
He's. It's not a full body that he's crawled into. But
I was picturing.
He has like arm pieces and a chest piece, and 2 jaw bones that he's like painted to look like a sort of kobold face. And he picks up his hand to wave at the remaining people, and you can see the larger hand that's imposed over it sort of flop backwards as he waves. So you're seeing 2 hands kind of wave back and forth.
May my friends approach?
Please.
Come on, friends.
Okay.
Just a.
My name is Theokis,
Okay.
and kobolds are my fascination.
Oh, nerd.
Are you here?
Did you say that?
He doesn't hear that if you do say that.
Are you here alone?
Yes.
How long have you been here?
Well, I camp in the Ebb Woods for days at a time. They're abundant here, so I come to observe.
They haven't attacked you.
Well, a kobold, if it came up close, would be able to tell that I'm not a real kobold. But I have 2 spells in my repertoire: Expeditious Retreat and Longstrider.
Those
So
are
if
good
I
spells.
get in trouble, I just run.
Okay.
Wow.
Have you seen anyone else passing? You said it had been busy. We were actually looking for a friend.
Yes, I am surprised to see so many non-kobolds here in the woods.
Yes. Did you happen to see what direction he might have gone off in?
Direction who might have...
Oh, sorry. Can I describe Malik? What I know of
Can,
Malik?
Yes, he
Oh.
passed through here
Oh,
not
right.
20, 30 minutes ago.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Was he hurt? Was he injured? Was he bleeding from anywhere that you could see?
He looked like his robe was covered in blood, yes. Although he was moving very quickly, did not seem to impede his movement.
Did you see which way he went?
Yes, and he sort of hesitates for a moment. Seemed like he was headed for the ruins. But wandering in there alone is a good way to get yourself kidnapped.
Did he say anything to you?
No, he moved very quickly. I don't even know if he saw me.
You said kidnapped. Who would kidnap? Who's out there that would kidnap people?
The kobolds are known for taking hostages.
So,
Fuckers.
Ravi, the paper. Do you want to?
Yes.
Do you know what any of these symbols mean?
And he
Don't.
he reaches out. Do you let him take it?
No.
Pull it back
I think you can see it from here, my friend.
Those, yes. I've been studying the kobold symbols, and some of them mean something to me. He gets closer. If I tell you what one of them means, could I make a copy of that?
Yes.
He gets out like a little piece of parchment. He's like struggling. He reaches into like a big sort of kobold flap and takes out a little piece of paper. And he has like a piece of almost like chalk, like a black piece of chalk. And he starts to scribble. So the only one that I recognize, and at this moment it occurs to him that, he has maybe something that you guys want. He turns away and he consults like another little page that's by his pocket. The circle with the X through it, I have come to think means very unstable terrain.
Oh.
They mark it when it's not somewhere that should be walked upon.
Right. That's very useful. Okay.
And as he's saying that, he continues to kind of sketch the thing.
Bit of an odd question. A very nice get-up that you have there. You don't have any more of those, do you?
The kobold suits? You would have to make your own, I would
I thought that might be your answer. I just figured I'd ask.
What about these other symbols? Do you know what the rest of them mean?
No, I'm very interested. I don't recognize... No, none of the other ones.
Is he holding it the right way up?
Well, the only one I recognize is circle with X. And that could be either way.
Okay.
May I
What
ask?
about the other symbols that we've seen? Do any of these look familiar? This one with the hat-looking thing, or the square with the X, or this one that kind of looks like waves?
Perhaps.
Can Orba
Seems a bit unfair for me to share my valuable research for nothing. I am planning to write a book.
Right.
A gold per symbol?
Does the name Monasami mean anything to you?
Yes.
What if I told you I had some information about what happened here hundreds of years ago?
More than it just sinking into the ground?
Yeah, more than that.
Were the kobolds responsible?
Do you recognize the symbols?
Were the kobolds responsible?
Can I put my hand on my crossbow?
You can. Make an intimidation check.
Oh.
I have no idea what mine did. That was so bad.
Oh, God.
5.
5. He sort of looks down, not terribly intimidated, but
On my crossbow.
he also can, sense that there's a number of people not here on his side. I recognize some of them, perhaps. Maybe a little incentive so I don't give away my research for nothing.
Okay, and the gold per symbol was not a good offer?
It's not a lot for valuable
What if I gave
research.
you 10 gold and you give us the meaning of everything you know as far as those 3?
Let's call it 10 per symbol.
Okay.
5 per symbol, and you get to leave here.
Make an intimidation check.
Oh, my goodness.
You make
Raven, be
friend.
scary, be scary.
No, we're not scary.
9.
Scary.
The presence is imposing, but you feel like you get the impression that he knows he has an ace up his sleeve, kind of. He reaches down and just places his hand on what looks like a small length of wood, like an arcane focus of some kind, like he's ready to bolt with a spell at the first sign of trouble.
Friends,
Look, we really don't want to hurt you. It's just...
We're not going to hurt you.
No, we just want to make sure that we get through here safely, and these symbols will probably be good information. So 5 gold or no, or...
I think we said 10.
Okay, fine. 10 gold, I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. I'm done negotiating.
How many symbols was it?
3.
One that's a square with an X, one that's 2 parallel lines with 2 squigglies, and then one that kind of has like a little craw to it.
The square with the X?
Yeah.
Means danger is here. They're not to go close to that symbol.
Danger is here geographically, or what is in the location?
Could be both, I think. I think that the unstable terrain has more to do with geographical.
Got it. Okay.
Now, the little bump with the line, that means ghosts. A place where the spirits tend to coalesce.
Have you had much experience with the ghosts?
They do pop up every now and then. They mostly do not harm you, but it can be disorienting.
Have you interacted with any of them?
I try to stay away from them as best I can.
I'd recommend you continue doing that.
And the last symbol I don't recognize.
Does that seem true?
Make an insight check.
Bullshit.
Don't make me do it.
Oh, I'm calling
15.
15. Yeah, he seemed a little gun shy about it. He looked at it and just kind of immediately looked away.
So you don't want the extra 10 gold then?
Can't tell you what I don't know.
He's referring to something.
He had a little something he was referring to, yeah.
If we were to tell you where we saw one of those symbols, would you tell us what it means?
If, after this discussion, you walked in the opposite direction, and I walked toward where you saw it, that would be amenable.
So yes?
I think that gives us all the information we need about
I'm
that
confused.
symbol.
What just happened?
It's what we thought it was. It's a stash.
Oh.
Nice.
Well, it's not like we're doubling back. We don't have time.
No, we really don't have time, so it doesn't matter. So why not?
Is it a stash?
You tell me where you found it, and I give you all the symbols I know.
Okay,
Worth it.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Fine. We'll describe it in
Yeah,
detail.
detail.
You were actually describing exactly where it was.
Yeah.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage. You're right, Graven. You do it. You're the last one.
Man.
I'm not responsible.
Persuasion.
Oh. Be persuasive.
Oh,
be persuasive.
21.
Yes.
I do believe there was something there, but I could not find it.
We triggered something in the tree. There was a tripwire. 30, 50 feet up.
Clever creatures.
Yeah, you might want that for your book, actually. It was interesting. They hid the symbol, so.
They are very clever when they want to be.
Yeah, so, deal's a deal, mate. Okay, so, do you think if we're heading sort of in the direction of the ruins,
Yes.
are they bold enough to attack a group of our size?
If there are enough of them, maybe, yes.
And do you think there are enough of them in the ruins?
Depends where you go, yes. Like I said, that man I saw going alone, he seems to be
Going
a
in the wrong
very
direction.
brave
Okay.
man.
Or very stupid. So,
He had an odd way about him.
What do you mean by that?
As I was watching him walk by, he was sticking feathers in his headband. Make a little hat of some kind, a crown.
hang on, he's doing arts and crafts as he's literally running.
I found 4 raven feathers in the pit where I first found that cloth and this as well, so...
They were raven feathers in his hat.
Could be black feathers, yes.
Okay. And you have been here a while, right?
I
Researching. for
come
the
in
book.
and out of the Ebb Woods, yes.
And you said it was busy, particularly today. Was that the only other person that you had seen, or was there someone else?
Yes, but for me to see anyone is rare.
And you haven't seen any other travelers passing through here, right? I mean,
Not besides the dwarf.
and knowing with that particular way about them and the feathers?
That meant nothing to me.
Okay.
You said he was sticking feathers in his headband?
Yes, as if to make a sort of crown or something.
And that doesn't mean anything to you?
I have not seen that, but like I said, I don't see a lot of people come through here.
And we don't want to hurt these kobolds, really. We don't want to interact with them at all, ideally. But if we did need to, do you have any advice?
Yes. Use pointy sticks and swords, for magic is limited in its capability.
Right. Okay.
What weapons did you use to make that?
Oh, I'm but a scavenger of an already dead kobold.
Excellent craftsmanship.
Thank you. Sort of brightens up after a tense kind of standoff with the symbols. It's sort of flattered by the compliment.
I mean it.
We are headed towards these ruins. Do you have any advice about what to look out for when we are there?
You need to get into the ruins itself?
Starting to seem more
feels
and more like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the ruins have fallen deep into the earth. To get down to the ruins, you'll have to take one of the little elevators that the kobolds have built.
What elevators? Wait, they built. Hang on.
Well, they're pulleys.
Are
it's
they-
like a platform.
I'm
with a
assuming they're
pulley.
kobold size. I'm kind of gesturing at Graven with a look on my face like.
You might have to travel separately, but they're built for more than one at a time, I think.
Is that the only path in?
You could climb down, I
I believe
suppose.
I would be able to help accommodate this venture as well.
Have you ever been in the tunnels in your studies and your explorations?
The tunnels?
So no.
Anyway,
Where-
time to go.
Wait, what are the elevators down to then?
They go down to the ruins.
Oh.
They've fallen probably at least a few hundred feet down below.
Right.
And that's prime habitat, right, for the kobolds?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think the kobolds have made quite a home there.
So you have not been down.
No.
As lovely as it is talking to you, maybe we need to catch up with our friend.
Yeah, we really should. You said 20 or 30 minutes had gone by since the last time you saw him?
Yes?
Okay, we should really be heading out.
Hey, what's your name? I want to look out for your book.
Yes, my name's Theokus.
Oh yeah.
Theokus Seapike.
Nice to
Alright.
meet you, Theokus.
When you're not
you.
in, here, where are you?
I'm originally from Iramapura, but I travel around.
Wonderful. We'll keep an eye out for your book.
This is useful. You copy those down.
Oh, did you get your...
Yes, I copied it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Good luck with the, treasure.
Yes. That would be nice to find one of those.
And be safe with your
You as well.
Right. And can I kind of look for the footsteps in the direction where he
The
said?
footsteps have mostly disappeared. The ground's a little harder in this area, but he also pointed in the direction, and Orba's compass again getting sort of more and more directional as you go on.
Shall we?
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Nice to meet you.
He kind of turns back. Who's leading the pack there as you guys walk away from him?
I think I.
Okay, give me a perception check.
This is very useful.
Can I see it?
Yes.
Oh my god. Come on, 5.
5. Okay, nothing particular that you know.
Damn, what are we doing with these rolls?
It's really bad.
I can throw that up. Do you want to read that as well? Like what some of the symbols mean,
Yeah.
just so people
Okay,
know.
so we've got safety here, danger here, good hunting, ghosts, hidden passage here, big enemy ahead. That's a good one to know. And very unstable terrain.
Yeah, those are all good ones to know. These are quite smart little guys, are they?
No, they built elevators.
Yeah.
I don't know how to build an elevator.
They can build like simple machines. You're aware that they have the like intelligence to do that thing. Traps, simple machines.
What
Okay.
kind of big enemies are in these woods? I mean, we've barely seen any animals.
That's a really,
I don't want to
really, really good question. And I really, really don't want to know.
Yeah.
But I
Raven,
have a
as you were
feeling.
looking at the list of the symbols, you also notice, as you've now walked away a little bit, it occurs to you, the symbol that the squiggly line with is not on there, even though he seemed to imply he knew
no,
what
I
that
noticed
was.
that. Yeah, the stash one.
Possibly not the only page, or he didn't write it down.
Right.
Son of a bitch.
Yes, he
Why
definitely.
wasn't he intimidated by us?
Oh, do you want to throw that up on the screen? Sure.
I should have.
He's odd. He's
Should have frozen him in his tracks and just taken all his papers.
No, let's not start
He was
setting that
nice.
as a precedent. Thank you.
More information is better.
What I don't understand, if these are cobalt symbols, is why Malik had them in his possession. And why so many of these symbols don't match up with the ones that he found.
Could it have something to do with why he's putting crow feathers in his head?
And is that a map of some kind?
Potentially, because
could be some kind of a
it's
cipher.
many of the same symbols over and over again, but in different patterns and things.
I would be willing.
Not just a collection of symbols. It may be pointing towards something.
No, I'm sure it's. Maybe it's a note. I mean, can they actually?
Is it language?
I know they have individual words. Surely they could string a thought together if they can make a pulley.
You're aware that, I would say, Safira, Graven, even Ravi, you're aware that kobolds speak Draconic, and there is like a Draconic alphabet. That's definitely not it.
Yeah.
These symbols, again, have sort of more phrase meanings.
Yeah.
They're not like, those are not letters of the alphabet, of the Draconic alphabet.
Have we considered that maybe these are older than the kobolds? I mean, the voice in my head, who was from Monasami originally, even though we don't know in what capacity, showed me a symbol that pointed me towards the city. So maybe these are symbols of the language of Monasami, and the kobolds have adopted them to live in the Ebb Woods.
I suppose it's possible. Yeah.
Or, yeah, what if the kobolds reside there now, they took these characters and kind of made them their own, gave them their own meaning?
Yeah, evolution of the language,
Yeah.
perhaps? Would that explain why the person you're looking for is looking for information about the town that used to be here?
I don't know. But I suggest we keep moving.
Yes,
we
please.
find him and we find these answers.
Keep moving.
You guys continue on a little bit further. You use the compass as your primary guide. At this point now, it seems to have really caught the lodestone's frequency.
Oh.
The compass is really now not barely swaying at all, almost like just kind of vibrating back and forth, very much pointing in a singular direction.
Love it.
The terrain is just as rough and jagged, but the trees here are starting to thin out, which coincides with what you see on your map. As you get closer to the center, the forest dissipates a little bit. The air has a very sharp, brisk texture, almost mountainous in quality, even though you're sure that you've dropped in elevation rather than risen as you've traversed the Ebb Woods. As you did when you approached the downward slope where you first spotted Ravi climbing out of the pit trap, you look forward and you see a horizon that looks like it eventually ends. Not gradually this time, but a very steep drop-off. there's kind of a bizarrely low cloud formation hanging just above the lip of this drop-off, making it hard to see what might lie beyond. But given its size, it doesn't take long for you to get a sense of exactly what it is you're approaching. An absolutely gargantuan escarpment has been cut into the ground in a roughly circular shape. It's almost as if someone has taken a cup and planted it on the ground and turned it and then scooped it up. Like it has this big sort of sheer walls all the way around. The sides of this crater are almost a perfect 90 degrees as far as you can see. It's not sort of a slow dip that gets lower and lower and lower. It just hits the edge, immediate drop off. Like something just, the bottom of it just dropped out, taking everything on the surface with it. You guys start to approach it a little bit. You haven't quite reached the lip, but you guys are getting closer, so you start to see this. And the lodestone, or the compass.
If I look around, I don't see a lodestone.
No, it's pointing toward the cliff's edge, and you see nothing beyond that.
That is very steep.
If we get to the edge, can we look down and see anything?
Would you like to go up to the edge? You guys are probably still like 100 feet off from the edge.
I want to go up to the edge and
Yeah,
look
be
down.
really careful.
Okay.
Yep.
You guys get a little further. Give me stealth checks, whoever's approaching the edge there.
Perhaps
I don't want to go.
Yeah,
lay
I'll check it
flat
out.
a
I'll check
little,
it out.
almost as you get to the
27.
edge.
There we go.
Was
16.
I think mine was a 15 before you knocked it.
Oh, I'm
15.
sorry.
That's
Eight.
okay.
Eight. Okay.
Did you see what mine was?
So as you guys get closer and closer to the edge, again, the trees are thinning out more and more and more. And once you get within 30, 40 feet of the lip, there almost are no trees. Like the trees have either all kind of collapsed in or over time just didn't grow there. So there's this little like gap of purely grass and dirt that you sort of work your way closer and closer. And you get close enough to be able to peer over as best you can. And you see with what is without a doubt the aforementioned Ebb Wood ruin, or as Kiimi heard it told to her in her mind, what remains of the city of Manasami. You look down, and it must be 300 feet down to the bottom.
Whoa.
Crumbling stone walls, cracked marble columns, caved-in roofs, broken fences, splintered bridges, fractured archways, disjointed cobblestone roads, and fragmented staircases all collapsed into this pit all the way down below. And with the way the sort of clouds hang in the air, it's even difficult to see all the way to the other side. It's hard to tell what the diameter of this is, but it's enormous. It's absolutely enormous, as if the whole thing just collapsed in on itself.
Wow, unbelievable. So we have to go in there. Okay.
Looks like the lodestone is going to be down in there.
I think I should sort of do a little bit of a walk around the perimeter of this and see if we can't find those.
That would take you
pulleys.
That would take-
hours to walk around the whole perimeter of this.
No, I mean like around where we are. If
Sure,
we can
yes,
sort of-
which is from where you are, yes, but not to go all the way around
Yeah.
would take half a day.
I'm hoping that we're nearby one of these elevator things.
Or a hidden passageway symbol, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we should look for symbols
Yeah,
and
we
see if we
should.
can't find
I
anything.
agree. We should have a elevator to bring us back up, but if we want to be able to avoid any sticky situations going down, I do have a spell that would let us
All of
fall.
us at the same time.
Yeah,
Oh, that's brilliant.
almost like a feather.
That's actually much better.
But no, dropping down into who knows what. You don't know.
Does it get us up too?
No. It just allows you to descend safely.
That's good.
There's pros and cons to that, obviously. It's an unscounted descent, but what are the odds that we'll actually be able to stealthily descend anyways between an elevator or climbing kits?
I think that's probably, I don't know, I would say
descending
that.
into the jaws of a beast.
I agree.
I mean, we could be, but
It's dark at the bottom. Like you don't. can't
You
really-
can see into it. Again, you can kind of see the ruin down below.
Right.
It's a little obscured by some of the sort of cloud
Shadows,
formation and shadows and things. So yeah, it's dim but not like pitch black. The thing that does cross your mind is the totally viable way to get down, but I think someone said it. The way these pulley elevators sort of work is the platform goes all the way down, and then you would need a way to get back up. If you didn't, you could descend all the way down, but then you don't have a way to get back up.
Right. So if you, so the elevator would have to like have weight on it to descend. You mean?
Yeah. The way they sort of work is you use like a counterweight.
Right.
It's like a pulley and then a counterweight. You put enough weight on it so that when you get on, you slowly descend,
Right.
and then you put a weight at the bottom on it to keep it down there, to keep it from going all the way back up.
Got it.
But it doesn't get you back up unless
It
somebody's
does.
at the top.
No.
You don't need someone
No, you
operating
don't
at the
need
top.
someone.
It's just like a big weight on one side, platform on the other, and it goes
Okay.
like this.
Yeah.
And then once you get to the bottom, usually there's a weight
yeah,
down there that you put on it, and then it stays there until you need to get back up.
Look, I think if we're trying to get down there stealthily, honestly, the best option might be to just float down there. The reason I say that is then we're not disturbing anything as far as the elevator, if we do find it.
The elevator is the
And we're
way
not
back
climbing.
up.
We would need to activate the elevator if it's not already down there.
Let's
need
see
to
if
get
we
it.
can't find it first, and then I suppose
Okay.
we can make a decision. And yeah, I guess let's look around for those symbols.
Around for symbols.
Okay, you give me an investigation check to look for the elevator. If people want to look around for the symbols, you can give me investigation checks as well.
Can't tell if that was good or bad.
That was terrible.
Okay.
6.
So,
This is your
Really
third time you've
Yeah, I
been
got a
able to
natural
re-roll a
one.
1.
Whoever's counting.
Third.
10.
Got a 1.
That was an.
Touching that.
That was double one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Double one club.
Ooh, double one
Yay.
club.
That
What?
is my investigation.
It is a natural.
It's a natural one. It's a natural one.
7. What is going on tonight?
I got a 23. I don't know what y'all.
23. And sorry, what was it? 10. Quiet.
I don't see anything.
So as Safira starts to walk away, the cloud formation seems fairly innocuous as you're looking at it, but the minute Safira gets more than 50 feet away from you guys, she starts to kind of disappear into like the fog. You can see the back of her bow kind of just disappear as she gets further and further away. So you guys are looking around at the surrounding trees. Bless you.
Thank you.
You do find one symbol, and it's a square with one line sort of sticking out from the middle.
Safety here.
Yeah. Saved. Oh yeah, you can take this. I took that off.
Oh.
If you want to take
Okay.
that.
Safety here.
And you guys watch as Safira kind of disappears into the clouds.
Safety not there.
Safira.
You can hear him as he calls out.
I can still hear you. Do you want me to stop?
Well, we should stick together. I don't want you to get lost in the mist here.
Can I see? I can't see them through the mist.
If you back up, but again, yeah, you can't if you just turn around. Like it kind of.
Should I stop looking
Or at
for
least
the elevator?
break into groups.
Well,
So that no one is.
I don't think we should do that. I'm gonna start heading back towards
Okay,
where they
you
are.
do. So you did not reach an elevator that you could tell
I
by the
didn't
time.
see any elevator.
Could safety here mean safe passage here? If we look around in the area of the symbol, is it possible that the entrance to the elevator or pulley is hidden somewhere around there? There wouldn't just be a symbol for no reason.
No, I think we should
hope
look.
not.
Good idea.
Give me an investigation check. Give me with advantage since you found the symbol already. Advantage meaning roll twice and take the higher one.
11.
11. You go back to where you found the symbol, and you just kind of look around as best you can, and then there's another one, the same symbol. Follow it, head over to that way. You can see Ravi kind of moving away, and everyone follows behind. You get to that symbol. There's another one. You're kind of following a little semicircle around, and you get to another one. It's kind of at the base of the tree, and you look around, and there's one carved into a rock that's moving closer to the lip of the chasm there. Follow that. You get a little closer. There's another rock. Get closer. And just like appearing out of the mist as you get closer is a wooden sort of tiered structure
Hey.
with a platform that's leading and it has no railing at all. Like it's just a empty wooden platform, and beside it there's like a big pulley system and a
Oh my
series of
gosh.
large stones that you can sort of put onto the pulley.
No.
How big is this platform?
You could definitely all fit on it if you had the
Oh.
requisite like counterweight.
Okay.
Well,
Like it's big enough for that. You'd be scrunched
Let's
together.
go find a
You could-
really big rock.
Well,
I suppose this is good news.
try it in shifts, or do we go all at once?
I think yes, I think we should send 2 or 3 of us down first.
Yeah.
That way, if there is a big group of people, we can send a flare up.
Yeah? You don't seem to like that idea.
Just worried.
I mean, yeah. But the idea being, if there is something down there, then the other people who are just going to be running down right after us at least have an idea of what's down there. I mean,
Alright.
or
Who's in the first group?
I'll go down first.
I can go down first as well. We've got to find the right counterweight for us. I don't know.
There is a selection of rocks already there, although you know kobolds are smaller than most of you, so these weights are probably not meant for people as big as you, so you might have to get some additional weight, but there are a number of rocks already.
Could our large friend be our counterweight for me and Safira? Is that a thing?
I would be stuck, wouldn't I?
Just
Be
for
stuck
the
at the top.
just for the
Just
two of
for a
us.
Second.
All right.
You might need a bit more.
Well, I can use myself and some of the rocks.
Okay. Fuck's sake. Wait, we need to make sure that we have a way to send up light. Because
I mean, I could give you something that's lit, and then
well, then what am I supposed to do? Try to toss it?
what is
Hundreds
the
of
symbol?
feet
What is
deep.
the signal
It's
for?
hundreds of feet deep. It's to basically, if we hit the bottom and we're surrounded by 300 kobolds,
You scream.
300 feet down, will you be able to? I mean, I don't know. If you'll
Scream
hear
for
us.
300 feet?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I
In open
suppose-
air, yeah, you'd be able to.
I suppose then we'll scream.
Well, I'll give you some light to bring down with you anyway. One of your
Let's just. Can we get like a small pebble or something?
maybe
there's
something that you
stones
just
around.
carry on you.
I'll get my
Already.
dagger out
Sure.
on that I keep on my belt.
Okay.
Blade.
I'm gonna kind of keep it so that it can kind of be slid back into my belt. So
Yeah,
that
if
I
you-
can
if you
block
kinda
out the light if I want to.
Yeah, if you stick it
quickly.
in the scabbard, most of the light gets
Great,
sort of
okay.
muted.
All right.
So who's going down?
Two of them first.
Ravi and I, and we will call up when it's safe or when it's not. And either way, please come down.
Do you want to call up if it's safe? Won't that kind of draw attention?
Actually, no. You will hear nothing from us if it's safe. Yeah, no. So you will only hear from us if it's bad. And if it's bad, please come anyway. Because
Great.
we will be alone.
Okay.
Test
Yeah.
some of these weights here. I'll try to see if I can gauge what would.
Move some of the stones onto the platform. So the way that it works is like the stones on the platform are keeping the lowering platform like up at the very top. And if Ravi kind of places his foot on it, he can feel it sort of start to move down. So then you take your foot off. Graven puts a little more weight. You're basically just putting enough so that when he steps on, it moves down slowly as opposed to like
Rather,
whoosh.
yeah, to falling.
So yeah, you're trying to like balance them out a little less weight than they're putting on the opposite
Right.
platform.
Myself and like two meaty rocks.
Right. So they're kind of small boulders that you push onto the platform. And are Ravi and Safira getting on the opposite one? Great.
Yep.
Let's do it. So Ravi gets on first, and it holds steady because Graven's on there with the two stones. And then Safira gets on, and
As I'm getting in and as we're going down, can I check in with my bow gun?
you can. Nothing.
Ow.
Gotta be close.
And the platforms start to very slowly descend, Ravi and Safira. You watch as the tops of their heads, you can see their hair as they're looking back up, and then
Oh man.
the fog sort of courses over them. And there's a point kind of in the middle of this journey down the elevator where you can see neither the
Nothing,
top
yeah.
nor the bottom.
Yeah.
So you're in this sort of white ether, just waiting.
In
and
that sort of
slowly-
moment, I'm gonna just kind of take the dagger that I have and kind of hold it
Yeah,
up a
it
little
glows a little bit. And the glow is kind of hitting the clouds, so it's not giving a lot more visibility.
I want to keep it only out like this when we're kind of in this dark spot, so I can keep sort of an eye on my immediate surroundings.
Sure.
And then
From the top, when she pulls that out, you can see in the clouds below, like just a little glow. Yeah, so you can see the glow continue to.
as we go down further, I'm gonna then sort of put it back to try to avoid.
And this happens slowly. It takes a moment. You have a moment here on the platform. Is anything?
I always end up in the strangest situations with you people.
Yeah, well, we have a knack for winding up in strange situations, so.
I have to find this man.
Yeah, I know. What's going on with the rats? These are really, really specific.
I don't understand. This man, Varid, the attempt on his life, he is not a good man. I accused him, and I showed the city council what I find of this strange rat relocation. He calls me a liar. I am suspended from the soldiers of the Broken
Oh,
Crown.
fuck off.
And I
They
face...
suspended you.
They suspended me, and it gets worse. I face pointed relegation, which could ruin my life. I could never be a soldier again.
Do I know what that means?
So it's called something a little different in Kira, where you're from, but you're
Right.
familiar
I
with the
have the-
term.
I
It's
am
basically
familiar with
their
this.
version of a dishonorable
Yes,
discharge.
okay. Right.
So, we must find this man so that I can reveal to everyone what his breed is up to so that I can clear my name and return to the soldiers of the Broken Crown.
Look, I wish you the best of luck with that. I want to help. I will say, if you're counting on your name being cleared, I wouldn't necessarily count on that. And I'm not saying because we can't help you. I'm just saying because people are stubborn. And if your name already has a mark on it, then the damage might already be done. So,
I understand.
I have some familiarity with that. And if the Broken Crown isn't interested in helping, then perhaps you will be better as a soldier on your own.
Perhaps, but there are several reasons why I need to stay with the Broken Crown. My brother and myself.
Okay? They have something on you. Yeah? So yeah, I can see it in your face.
Are we there yet?
Very slow. We can swing around back up to the top, where you watch the light sort of get dimmer and dimmer as it disappears. And then after a certain moment, she's putting it back, so it kind of disappears.
So am I moving?
No, yes, but only a little bit. It uses a series of pulleys, so the amount you're moving is like proportional. So they're moving a lot more than you. So you're moving like down a little bit, but not much, and it's sort of through a couple of pulleys.
Wait, so when they get off at the bottom, where do I go?
You will start to go. You'll start to get kind of flung up, but again, you're moving like only 10 feet down because of the way the counterweight works.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to grab onto something. It's meant for rocks to be put on it, not a person, but it'll move quickly, but it's not going to fling you up into the air.
Ooh.
Yeah, might be a little whiplashy, but
We
it's
just
not
hear,
going to.
I'm gonna see him fall.
Maybe we're going to need more rocks for this next trip. Maybe look around for a few more big rocks.
Graven says that as his head like slowly goes below.
We're going to need some more rocks.
Just find them and then I'll
get them later.
You want to go find some rocks?
I guess so.
Just in this border?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to move them if I find them, but I'll mark them mentally. I'll make a note, big rock. Here.
Maybe if we work together, we'll be able to pick up one.
Oh.
Are these
I'm
two
not very good.
-1 strength characters?
Yeah, very good.
watch out for kobolds.
Okay.
Okay.
You holding up okay, by the way?
Yeah, you know, the curse, Mr. Curse, Brother Curse, he's been rather quiet, but I feel like once I descend into the clouds, he's gonna have something to say, so just enjoying the peace while I can.
Yeah. I don't mean to, like, frighten you or anything, but if the ghosts that we've already experienced in this land, if he shares that emotion, if he discovers it while being in your head, just prepare yourself for it. Let us know if we can do anything to help you.
That's a really good point. I haven't even thought about that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I just,
Oh,
you
God.
know, like, we've had voices in our heads, we've seen things, we've done, like...
I'm gonna, like, start pacing a little bit. Like, I am kind of
Oh,
thinking
no.
about, like, the guy who's drowning in the
Graven's
sky.
Oh,
the
sorry.
rocks.
Heavy breathing. Like, no, it's gonna be fine, right? Like, you know dead things. You've got experience with dead things.
Oh, yeah, tons.
I
mean, they go for your mind. So what is most important, I've found, is rely on external factors. Rely on your allies, because
Okay.
they've pulled me out of really hard situations.
Yeah.
Where my mind is vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm lucky I found you guys.
Oh, we're lucky we found you too.
And you wouldn't happen to know anything at all about what it would mean for me to have to pay for the sins of others.
What?
Okay, never mind. Don't worry
No,
about it. It's fine.
no.
It's fine, and I'm gonna start pacing again. Like,
Is that what he told you?
yeah, I think that our linked curses, we're both paying for the sins of others, but also there's something to do with dead people, and I just don't know, honestly. It's been a really long week.
Okay. Hey, we're okay. You have us. He's clearly connected to you in some very specific and particular way. We will be here if you need anything.
Let's just find some rocks.
Okay.
Orba, like, really defeated with herself. Just
Sadly looks to shake it off.
starts looking for the rocks. Trying.
Swinging back down. You hit the bottom, and Graven feels it as well. Bounces a little bit.
As we hit the bottom, I want to kind of very slowly so that I only let out a little bit of light because I have dark vision. So before I even
It's not
do
even
this,
the darkness. It's like the fog a little more,
Oh,
like
okay.
obscuring your vision. But it's not impossible to see.
I want to kind of take a quick scan, like 360 degrees, kind of
Yeah,
around.
both of you give me perception checks.
This is like that tunnel hole in Get the Fuck Out, where you have to go all the way down.
Are
Foggy
you joking me?
Bad rolls.
7.
17.
17.
Oh,
So,
thank
as you look around you, as you get to the bottom, the what you can clearly see right away, you do get a little below the hovering kind of fog line. It's permeating a little bit through the air, but you get to a point where it's not quite as thick, so you can see the immediate surrounding area. It looks like you reach down at the bottom of this sort of crater, and you're at the entrance. It's not an entrance anymore because it's very much in ruin, of what looks like a large kind of temple or church of some kind. Like there's a caved-in roof. There's a couple pillars kind of collapsed on each other. There's a large staircase that's cracked and broken and overgrown by moss and grass. So you guys have reached this sort of perimeter of the ruin here, and it looks like some kind of large, it could even be like a meeting hall, just like a larger, not a home, like a larger sort of important structure. And that's where you guys land. As Ravi's looking around, Safira looks in one direction, Ravi kind of looks in the other direction, and in the sort of white fog, a little bit away, colors are a little hard to make out simply because of the way the fog obscures it. But you see, at about head height, 4 or 5 black ovular things sticking up in the air and a figure moving away in the distance, like someone was wearing something that had little black objects on top. And he might have been just a couple 100 feet away from you, maybe even less, and he sort of disappears into the fog.
Should we wait for the others?
Okay. I really want to go after him right
Did I see that too, or I didn't see that?
You can point it out to her. You didn't see it.
Yeah. Did you not see that?
What?
That
Fuck, no.
shape, that force,
I
that
can't
man.
see
He
anything
had,
through
he
the
had
mist.
feathers in his head. He was going off that
What?
way. I
Where?
think we
Should
have
we
to
go?
Yes, we
Okay,
have to
okay,
chase him
okay,
right
go,
now. We're
go,
gonna
go.
lose him. So we go after him.
You start to move. Safira, what are you doing?
Gonna go with them in advice.
Safira and Ravi start to move, and immediately as the two of you step off the platform, there's a little lurch, and Graven can feel the on the
You
other
guys should know
side.
there's no trouble. We didn't yell.
And there's a little like it's moving up much faster than it moved down to begin with, and Graven feels that lurch a little bit, and you get up to kind of ground height, and then you're listening, and it's and the platform kind of rattles and hits the top area there.
We're both carrying the same medium-sized rock.
There's a few little stones they've gathered.
Good work.
Is this good?
Any bigger that you noticed? I'll have to.
Ones that you can get, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. All right, sure.
Yeah, I saw
Let's
him by that
quickly.
tree.
You can take some time to
Work
find
hard.
some of the boulders that are sort of around the perimeter there. There's a couple chunks of like, one of them even looks, there's like an arch that it might have been a piece of a building or something. It's not even like just a
cool.
boulder. Yeah, so you
Do we want one on our platform so that we can leave it,
You would hope that there's some
Solid?
down there,
I suppose?
because the more we bring on with us, the more we have to put on the counterweight.
usually the way these things work is there's a pile of stones at the bottom as well,
Okay.
so you can weigh the platform down.
Unless these kobolds are
crossed.
eating it.
Unless the kobolds never want to get out of the pit.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully count on that. All right, step on there.
The steps on.
Okay.
Doesn't move at all, no budge.
And
Emi
I'm
gets
gonna
on,
hippy
no
hop
budge
on.
at all.
I'll give it a.
Graven puts one foot on.
That sounds like him.
That was Graven, not the rest. The second foot on. And it starts to lower very, very slowly. Sort of as
I'm gonna like get down, like
Everyone give me a perception
almost
check.
on all fours
Okay,
to
sure.
just kind of
Everyone give me a
stay
perception
close.
I also love to be holding Featherfall in case this thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
What are we doing? Perception? 18.
18,
14.
14.
12.
Okay. So Graven's focusing a little more on keeping his weight evenly distributed because, again, no handles, no, like, bars.
Yep.
So he's just making sure that he's not going to sort of roll off the edge or anything like that. But Kiimi and Orba keep sort of a close eye on their surroundings. And before you descend below the sort of level of fog, you look off toward the tree line that you guys came from, and you see some little red figures darting from tree to tree. And you guys are moving very slowly. You're up to like chest level.
Yeah, can we get down?
Yeah, you can get down.
I'm way
Give me
down.
stealth checks.
Yeah, can I have... I guess Graven was already down.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah. Stealth.
with everybody crowded down, it is very crowded on this platform.
What is happening?
10.
Ooh, 12.
12. So you guys duck down as best you can, but even in your hunch state, you can tell that your shoulders are a little up above the level, and you hear like a... and a little tapping of footsteps, kind of.
No.
Sounds like something's getting closer.
No.
And you guys are moving very slowly. Right now, you could still reach the platform that has the rocks on it.
Orba. Spell time?
What's happening?
Can I cast Mage Hand and push one of the rocks off?
And immediately as the rock gets pushed off, first of all, it falls. You cross your fingers, it doesn't land on Safira and Ravi's head. But as soon as the rock gets pushed off, you start to move a little faster.
What is happening?
Shadow dies.
And as you guys are moving down,
Yeah, thank God.
you look up and you see 3 reptilian heads like poke their way off the side, and they're looking down, and they're kind of disappearing into the fog, but you catch sight of them ever so slightly, and they look like they're reaching into like a pouch or a belt or something, and
Shield up! Graven, shield up!
I need you guys to roll initiative for me, just the 3 of you.
Oh my
Really quickly.
Dang.
I'm worried they're gonna push more rocks off of the fucking counterweight.
No, I understand that.
Well,
I thought you were gonna cast the feather spell
Yeah.
thing.
They like prisoners, not dead people.
Okay, well that's comforting.
honestly, it kind of is.
18. Wait, do we add anything? No.
If it's initiative, you have a...
Oh,
Yeah, check that out.
oh, 22.
22, Kiimi.
Oh, I can
Oh, you want to do it?
do... Yeah, special. All right. 21 to 25.
22.
22. Wait. Okay. 22. Amy. 16 to 20.
18 kobolds.
19 for me.
Graven kobolds. So Graven kobolds, Orba.
18 kobolds. Orba, what did you get?
5.
5
God.
for Orba.
Slow reflexes.
Shame.
All right, Kaimi, Graven, kobolds, Orba.
So you can see them starting to like wind up. You can't tell what they're throwing. It looks like they reach toward their belt and they have some little items that they might be tossing. You have your weapons with you, or you can do something. What would you like to do in the time that you have here quickly?
My magical shield only protects me, right?
Yes. And it's a reaction to an attack, so you don't like preemptively use
Oh
it.
my god, what can I do here? Like,
You fire at him.
okay,
have a
I guess
crossbow.
I'll just fire my crossbow.
Right? There's basically 3. We'll call them left, center, and right kobold because they're all peering over the edge. Which one are you aiming for?
The middle one.
Okay, give me an attack roll.
Can he do anything to describe these things that you wouldn't say?
He said lizard. He said lizard people.
12 misses. So with a little bit of the fog, you fire it up and he ducks back, and the bolt kind of goes up past his snout there as he ducks back.
Snout.
Anything
All
else?
the snout.
There's not really much you can
His
do
snout.
on the platform here, but
Can I really aggressively squat hide?
you can attempt to hide. The fog is kind of around you. Give me a stealth check.
Ooh, can I
It's
hide?
against their perception.
Oh, okay. Fireball. Oh, 28.
28, 17. So you're hidden
Basically
behind
a
Graven,
sneak
basically. Like you kind of crouch behind Graven.
What are you doing?
And you can see them like sort of searching as the platform continues to lower. Graven, what are you doing?
Toll the dead on middle one.
Okay. What is that?
That is a... sorry.
okay.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Wisdom save.
Wisdom
Yep.
saving throw?
Nice.
Natural 1.
Oh, that's good for me.
Ding.
Let's see if it actually does anything to them.
Oh,
4
Oh my god.
Necrotic.
4 necrotic damage.
And that's
That little rattling bell goes out, and you see the creature kind of scratch at its head as like the sound vibrates inside its
You
skull.
rolled 2d8.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, now the kobolds all kind of reach back and these little sort of, they look like a little bit of the light shines off them. They look like vials of some kind.
Say I bet.
Does being prone...
Close your mouth.
Am I prone?
So yes, but they're right above you. There's no really advantage to being prone from the angle that they're throwing something at you. So they're each, who's Graven was last to attack. Yeah. 2 of them are gonna throw a little vial at Graven. One's gonna throw it at Amy. Oh no, you can't. You're hidden. Is one at Orba.
Nice.
That's like a 21 to hit and a 18 to hit.
Yes, they both
hit. And sorry.
Nice.
14 to hit.
Oh, I said nice.
Shit. And they're like vials. Like
they look like they're
in
vials with liquid in them. Yes.
Close your mouth.
16. What was it?
Close your mouth, everyone.
14, I think it was.
Shield.
Shield.
No fucking way.
Shield comes
Not
up,
doing it.
and the little vial bounces off of the shield and just disappears into the fog.
Lands on Safira's
Both of those
Both
hit.
I don't know what that is.
You take 7 acid damage.
Okay.
And then 6 acid damage.
Oh my god.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my goodness.
Usually good at these.
Remember when your shield was... Wait, wasn't your shield there for acid damage?
No, not now.
Wait, it changed at the long rest.
Sorry, what kind?
Constitution save.
11.
11 fails, and make another one. That's 2 for each attack. 1 for each attack.
God.
Toots.
Nope.
No.
Both of them fail?
Yeah.
So you get hit by these vials, and you're surprised at how kind of thin the glass is. It's made to kind of break on contact. You feel this sort of burning acid sort of pour over the back of your neck, and you can see it like seep down like Graven's like scale mail shirt there. You can watch it sort of seep down, and it burns away at you. You are just conditioned poisoned, so you have disadvantage on ability rolls and attack rolls.
Poisoned.
And in addition to that, I need you to give me a religion check.
Oh my god.
What the Kuzni?
I would rather not.
Kuzni, can you hear me?
Religion check?
Can you hear me?
18.
As you feel that burning sensation wash over you, you bring up one of your hands and you look at your arm, and the scars in your arm begin to glow. And you feel this uncontrollable kind of tightness in your skin, and it dawns on you, this is chimera poison that they're throwing in these vials.
What?
And you feel it wash over you, and it almost, all these memories come back to you. Oh my God! Walking through the mountains, all of the documents that you viewed, the journals, the things, they just come rushing back, and you resist the kind of feeling that you're sort of getting overwhelmed by all of these emotions, but your veins are glowing like white hot, like they're like a burning kind of oil running through your veins. And it's disorienting, and you start to stagger a little bit, and I need you guys to give me athletics checks as Graven
Oh my God, yeah.
starts
Keep
to
him on
topple
that
over the side of the platform.
Athletics?
Oh,
12.
natural one!
Oh my
Roll
god.
it,
You
baby.
both
No, wait,
reach-
hold on,
Oh.
just re-rolling. Yeah.
Oh, 12.
12. You both reach for Graven, and he's pulling you off with his weight. What are you doing?
No.
The two of you are grabbed onto him, but he is falling off the platform.
Yeah, how much more distance do we have here?
You can't see. I mean, you probably estimate you're probably halfway down, maybe a little over halfway
Orba,
down.
now would be a good time
Drop.
to be a feather.
And I'm gonna let us drop.
3 of you topple over the side of the platform.
And she's gonna do her little feather fall spell and catch all 3 of us.
And you hang there in the air, sort of suspended, and you look over at Graven, his eyes kind of flickering,
Graven.
and that's where we're gonna end.
Oh!
I knew it! I knew it! He's out, baby!
Chimera poison? What the fuck?
Where
Where
the
did they
fuck
get
did you
that?
get
Where did they get that? Where did they get that?
So
I guess
feeling
they
the
raid
sensation
whoever
of
comes
something
through,
that
but-
you haven't sort of felt or thought about in a long time.
Get that.
The chimera poison that just brings back all of these memories, all of these deep thoughts that have been sort of suppressed. In that moment where you're falling off that platform, given the religion check that you rolled, a few memories come back to you that you never remembered before. Pictures and images sort of flashing through your mind before black. But that's where we'll pick up before we find out what exactly you saw.
Oh no. Graven's gonna want more chimera poison, isn't he?
They throw more, and Graven's like,
Dives to catch it. Hit me.
So Graven, for those, if anyone's joining late, Graven has a little history with chimeras, as it were. So bringing back some bad memories.
What the f are you guys gonna do with my dumbass body down there?
And when they come floating to the bottom, you guys are gonna find nobody at the bottom, as
ran
Ravi
off.
and Safira have.
Sorry.
We
Oh
had
god,
shit to
Orba.
do.
Thank God you guys pushed a rock on our heads after we left.
That is where we're going to
If
get
we hadn't moved,
my
you'd get
God.
squished.
What are we gonna do with your dumbass body again?
Drag it again behind us. That's what we did before. We
No,
did
you
like-
left it before.
We left you in a carriage.
Gonna have to leave
Ravi
the
gets
elevator.
back, he sees Graven unconscious, he's like, again!
It's like a
This
sitcom.
shit again.
Always asleep.
Like such a sleepy Goliath. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Go. Be
That
gone.
was, thank you, fucking the one good roll I had all fucking night.
They were like, oh yeah, couple. We'll talk about what images kind of float through your mind there before you black out.
I have a -1. I rolled a natural 19 on that.
That's pretty nice.
Wow. Wait, you have -1 religion. Oh, that's right.
As a cleric.
Because it's intelligence.
It's a.
That's your dump stat, bro.
I know.
He doesn't need to know anything about religion. Just gets orders,
Yep.
executes orders. That's the deal.
Has orders.
Oh my god.
Chimera
All right.
poison. So
Here. Oh
did
yeah.
they
No.
see the color? Did
Yes,
they
the glowing they
gall
saw for
like
sure. Yeah,
really-
they don't know what the poison is
Yeah.
because they never.
did not
Yeah,
look
they didn't get hit by it.
Anti-Graven poison.
But yes, they definitely saw. the glowing.
Wait a minute. These guys have something specifically for Graven. We knew we were coming here.
That is where we'll pick it up next time. But before we do,
Yeah, here we go. Crazy Locha did 3,000 bit arenas. You're a crazy Locha indeed. Jackrabbit Power did 1,900
Graven
bits.
with the bits.
Yeah.
Oh no. Jackrabbit Power did 1,900 bits. GF Powers did 100 bits. Stabbing Cobra did 100 bits. Crazy Locha again with 1,000 bits. And Jackrabbit Power with 1,000 bits. What the heck, guys?
What the heck?
Snapping Cobra gifted a sub. Thank you. Crazy Locha gave out 5 subs. Mr. Squiggles did 100 bits. Snapping Cobra did 100 bits. Crazy Locha did another 1,000 bits. What's going on? Jackrabbit Power did 5 community subs. Crazy Locha did 5 community subs. Jeremiah did 100 bits. Thank you so much. GF Powers did 100 bits. Jackrabbit Power did 1,100 bits. Crazy Locha did 1,100 bits. What are you guys doing? Banished Raven gave out 5 community subs. What guy? Okay, this is insane.
I like
We
going
gotta
out
go
in
off
the middle
this
there for a
train.
second.
Jackrabbit
Graven
Power-
did a like Graven thing.
Yeah.
Came back.
Jackrabbit Power gave out 5 community subs. Crazy Locha gave out 10. Snapping Cobra did 50 bits. Jeremiah did 300 more bits. Squiggles did 107 bits. Snapping Cobra did 200 bits. And Pogodogo gave
Fam.
out a community
Hype
sub.
train
Guys.
is leaving the tracks.
Fam.
What you doing?
Thank you guys so much. We hope you enjoyed a very sort of action-packed, exciting end. We're going to be a little split here as Ravi and Safira hot on the trail of Malik potentially to see what he might be up
Malik
to.
is going down.
Malik doesn't know what he's gonna hear.
Yeah.
Ravi just kills it, and you're like, I thought you said not to kill that guy. It's like, no.
Nah.
As soon as I fell unconscious, did my light like get dispelled?
No, I don't think. I think it's independent.
It is of me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't go away.
It just says until dispelled.
Oh no, so
right?
does that mean I can't dispel it? So I just have this light up dagger?
Oh no,
now
it lasts
until-
for an hour.
Oh, okay.
An hour.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it
I
will
thought I
go.
was
But it
perpetually
doesn't.
gonna be
It wouldn't go
shielding
off
this
just because
thing.
I did.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'll look at that, but
Yeah.
it ends if you cast it again. Oops, sorry. Or dismiss it as an action, neither of which you did. So yeah,
Yeah.
it'll just last for an hour there.
That's nice. Great.
Great. That is where we're going to pick it up next week.
Oh, boy.
We say a temporary farewell to our resident Goliath. as
People are
he,
jumping ship, man. They're just
I know.
out of here.
Everyone's leaving.
I'm slowly replacing all of you in cast.
Boom.
Just be kind to my body.
No.
No, we'll put you.
I'm
in
gonna-
You get to the bottom.
Pile of rocks.
You get to the bottom, and Orba and Keem are like, "We're leaving."
Can we drop penises?
Get to the bottom.
Your paints? Penises?
Oh, like camouflage penis.
Oh, camouflage me! Don't draw dicks on me like they
Dicks are the camouflage. That's how you blend in with the dick.
Yeah.
We'll make them look like cobalt
dicks.
Noted. That is where we're gonna pick it up. Thank you guys again so much, so generous.
that's
I
insane.
can't explain.
Thank you. Oh my
Incredible. Look forward to more. We said before Patreon stuff, and we will pick it up next week, right where we left off, and we will say hello, goodbye to Graven, but hello to an old friend. We'll see how he factors into the
Yeah, I
story.
can't wait. Merlin's gonna be down there smoking a cigarette, being like, "What took you guys so fucking
What are
long?"
you guys doing?
No, Ravi grabs the shoulder of the person, turns him around, and it's Erland with a crown.
You
raised
bitch! You little bitch!
Or he was at the top and he was like, "Hey, kobolds, take this poison, throw it at that guy."
They're
over
about to
there."
throw
Yeah.
something else. He's like, no.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time, 7 o'clock, same time, Sundays. Have a wonderful
Love you
night.
all.
We love you guys. Good night.
Night. Goodbye.